Hey, Jessica. Yeah, we ain't getting no snow, and a lot of people getting a lot of snow. Today we're gonna be reacting to this video sent to us by Miss Boss. Shout out to Miss Boss. Y'all follow Miss Boss on YouTube and follow her on TikTok at Red Shift USA, Shift SHIFT, Red Shift USA. We got an interview of Jake Lang like 2 days after the stuff that happened in Minneapolis and events that went down with Minneapolis. Apparently, from what I'm hearing here on this, I ain't watched it. I was gonna watch, but I want to get the same reaction with y'all. But apparently, Pup saying a bunch of derogatory things and hateful things, and so we're just gonna react to it and see what he's talking about. Let me see.
Jake Lang, activist or agitator, in to discuss what's going on. Okay, jokes aside, everybody, there's no intro video today because I got Jake in the backdrop for a half an hour and I want to get this discussion going so that we can actually get into the thick of it. I'm going to make sure that we're live across all platforms. Viva Fry, David Fry, hey, former Montreal litigator turned current Florida Rumbler, streaming across Rumble exclusively daily, 3 o'clock. We're on vivabarneslaw.locals.com, and I think we're on also on X, but nobody really cares about that. We're having Jake Lang back on because we're going to have a public discussion of what I have been relaying to him privately and questions that I have that I think everybody needs to hear the questions and the answers to in order to understand what the heck is going on. For those of you who don't know Jake Lang, he's a Jan 6er. He was held in pretrial detention for 4 years. I think you all know this already. He's the guy who engaged in acts of violence with the police officers when I interviewed him while he was incarcerated or in pretrial detention, and he used the terminology "a bat manifested itself," and he used it on police officers at an incident where he was within the proximity of or actually in physical contact with Roseanne Boyland when she was struck by police officers and ultimately trampled and beaten.
So this dude, so he admitted to hitting the police officer with a bat. He was trying to hit the officer with a bat. I ain't never heard that. I'm saying I thought he ain't do nothing violent. I thought he ain't hurt nobody or nothing like that. When everybody be bringing up January 6th, so he actually hit a police officer with a bat. All right, let's get back to it. That's interesting.
Beaten to death, according to many. Jake Lang has been something of a lightning rod of the Jan 6 figures, and since his release and since his pardon or commutation, has made himself something more of a lightning rod, engaging in behavior which we're going to explore today. I would argue, and I will argue, is not just not productive, but, and I would even say beyond counterproductive, anti-productive. We'll get into it. Had an incident in Minneapolis. He'll describe it, but we'll bring Jake Lang in anyhow. Jake, bringing you in right now. 3, 2, 1. Sir, how goes the battle?
Hey, Viva. Good to see you. Good to see a friendly face out here after all of the, wickedness that we saw towards conservatives, white people, Christians, Trump supporters. We're all grouped together now. There is no escaping it. If you wore a red MAGA hat, you're at liberty to be lynched in Minneapolis. With the police, zero police response. They would have allowed me to literally be disemboweled on the streets outside City Hall, Minneapolis, without a single police officer responding. It was grotesque mismanagement by the city, and the behavior of the liberal, rabid leftist is, the exact opposite thing we need in this country right now. And they're discussing, and they're going to be burning down our cities again come this summer. The only reason
Jake Lang is what we don't need in this country. And I ain't gonna keep pausing the video. I'm gonna let it play. But for this dude to be saying what we doing don't need in the country, it's just laughable in itself. Because what this dude on and what this dude want definitely ain't what we need.
Minneapolis is not on fire, Viva, is because it's 4 degrees out. As soon as it warms up, the BLM, anti-ICE, whole entire leftist rioting scenario is going to take off. So we're just seeing the beginning phases here with a lynching of a white man right outside Minneapolis City Hall.
Jake, we're going to get into it. I was going to retweet your post and say this is not going to be necessary. You know what type of interview discussion this is going to be, because I've told you privately, and I'll say it publicly. You are trying to depict yourself as a victim, where people are going to say, not only are you not a victim, but you are the reason for which other bona fide, legit victims are going to have a tougher time arguing victimhood when they're going to get lumped together with the likes of you. And
are we not allowed to? Are white people not allowed to go to any street corner in America and talk about their imminent replacement in Europe and America? That Muslims are taking over Minneapolis, that the Somali daycare pirates are robbing the people they're blind of hundreds of millions and billions of dollars of welfare fraud? Are white people not allowed to just take a microphone, a street sign, and go out there and say, hey, we're being replaced? And not only we're being replaced, but they're stealing all of our money in the process. Colonialism of Somalis is here in Minneapolis. And if we do that and announce we're doing so on social media, we should be lynched. Is that what you're saying, that I'm not a victim of exercising my First Amendment right, that I deserve?
Notice how he keep using the word lynch. That language alone really tells you all you need to know about Jake Lang. Like, what can possibly make Jake Lang feel that what happened to him in Minneapolis was a lynching? Who even talk like that? Who even use that type of language? Like, who says that? That alone lets you know what he want and what he stand for. And this dude, he a racist, man. He a racist, man. Thank you, Learn to Live. Exactly. The language and how he worded what he's saying is absolutely disgusting. Let's get back to the video, though. Let's see him out.
To be lynched for exercising my rights, Viva, because that's the only other implication that anybody could draw from what you just said.
No, well, but I don't like using hypotheticals. You've seen Die Hard.
That's not hypothetical. That's what happened. I took to the street sign.
Here's the hypothetical.
Talking about white replacement, street side of Minneapolis, and was engulfed by a crowd of Walking Dead zombie woke liberals that wanted to tear me limb from limb because of my ideas.
Hold on. I mean,
same thing they did to Charlie Kirk. And it seems like you're saying that Charlie Kirk had it coming. Jake Lang has it coming. He's not a victim.
Do you see that? There you go. Boom. Rabbit out the hat. So now we know who he think he is. Now we know who he think he picking up the mantle for. See, here it go. So he took what this man what this interviewer said to him about him and applied it to Charlie Kirk. Say it seems like you saying Charlie Kirk deserved it. That man ain't said none of the sort. What the fuck was that? I told y'all when we was watching whatever he was doing in Dearborn, and he's like, I'm making Charlie Kirk. Look, I'm telling y'all, that's why if you is on the right, if you is a Republican, y'all need to condemn this. Charlie Kirk wouldn't said no shit like this, though. Come on now. Y'all get too caught up in the we are Charlie Kirk. You can't just be letting anybody say it. Like he not standing for the right shit. I feel like he's standing for the opposite. So ain't no way he should be included in that. I told you he is jealous of Charlie's demise and what happened. He wants that man. It's starting to sound truer and truer, Jessica. Every time we watch something about this dude, I fully condemn this. Jessica better get the out of it.
That's the kind of argument that you're really leaning towards here, Viva. So if you're going to say that I have it coming because of my ideas, the liberals believe the same amount of hatred they have for me, they had for Charlie Kirk because he was anti-abortion, because he was pro-freedom of speech, pro-natural order of a man and a woman in a marriage and the natural roles of gender. There were people out there that did kill him because he was, the guy had a furry transvestite girlfriend, right? Mr. Robinson that murdered him. So you're talking about, because I stand against certain things, just like Charlie did. He had different things. He stood against homosexuality and transvestites and that whole.
Why is this dude sitting here comparing himself to Charlie Kirk time after time after time after time after time again? Like, what is he going for? What is he trying to say? This is insane. No, 3 years in solitary with transparent. No, I ain't trying to hear that. I don't like Nick either. Nick, another racist. He racist as hell too. For reference, no. No, we're not letting them off like that. No. No. We ain't letting them off the hook like that. I'm sorry. I got family members who did 20, 30 years in jail and came out and was like, no. This is who he is. This is why he ended up in confinement. This is why he ended up in jail. This is why he was at January 6th. This is who he is.
Entire indoctrination of the youth, and people wanted to kill him for that. So you're saying that he and I are both no longer victims of exercising our First Amendment rights, but we had it coming. That's what you're leading to everyone to believe by your statement.
I think you comparing yourself to Charlie Kirk is a disingenuous. I want to weigh my words because I don't want to be too aggressive. It's not comparable, and I don't want to do the hypotheticals. But if you were to hypothetically walk through downtown Chicago suburb with a sign on your chest that says "I hate the N-word," like in Die Hard 3, you would expect to get punched in the face at least. Now, would you say that I'm a victim of violence because I went out there and did that? I mean, the question is, there are.
Well, I would say that somebody could walk down any major red city, in America with a sign that says "I hate white people," and they're not going to be lynched by white people because we have an impulse control. We have an understanding that our lives are not worth throwing away over a.
He could say stuff like that, and I ain't trying to make this no race thing. But stuff like this happen on both sides, and I'm bogus for bringing up this story because I actually forget the guy's name. But the guy who was jogging in Georgia, and the 3 people chased him, the son, the father, and the friend, and they caught him and they unalived him just for jogging down the street in Georgia. So, I mean, ain't nobody better than the other. Ain't no race better than the other race. We're all Americans. People just need to try to come together and talk and figure out their problems and find some type of common ground. We ain't got to hate each other. We ain't got to not like each other just because we obviously different. Ain't nothing wrong with being different. Just because I'm different as a black guy than you is as a white guy or black woman and white woman don't mean that either one of us is better than the other. It's just our unique differences that makes us who we are. It's nothing to fight about. It's nothing to argue about. It's like, ain't no race to the top. Need to find a way to all get together, collectively climb to the top to get our country what we need it to be. We don't need people like Jake Lang who trying to take us back hundreds of years back to this dark racist place that we used to be in. Like, it's no way that this is what we need. Like, this dude is disgusting everything that come out of his mouth, bro. This is not what we need. Like, we need to be trying to come together. I agree. Stephen Miller either. Stephen Miller is an idiot. I agree 100%. Like, all these people trying to divide, and they want us to be fine, and they want us to think what they think, and they want us to believe what they believe. Like, no, this is not what we need. This man said, if you a white person, if you a Trump supporter, if you a Republican, if you a Christian, just taking all these different groups of people and trying to button them up and put them in here with this crazy ass message that he got that is absolutely horrible. It's an absolutely horrible message. This man wants chaos. He wants destruction. He wants cities to burn. That's why I was telling y'all when we was reacting to the last video. I told y'all he want to get beat up. He want crowds to attack him. He want crowds to attack him and people to take his stuff and try to do stuff to him. That's why he doing what he doing, to provoke them to want to do it. Now, I'm not saying it's right, but he definitely provoking them to get that exact reaction. Because once he get that reaction, he's gonna flip it, because he not a dumb person. He's not a slow person, so he is smart. So he's smart enough after that happened to know the clip's gonna be out there and it all going viral to flip it, just like he's doing it in the 2 interviews we didn't react to. So a white man can't even walk down the street with a microphone and say his piece without being lynched. He's not just using the word lynch by mistake. That is planned. You know exactly what he's saying. How many people are described getting jumped on or getting attacked by a crowd or threw at with snowballs or water or anything like that? How many people go to the next person and say, yeah, I got lynched today? Who talk like that? It's a reason he's using the word lynched. It's what he calling for. It's what he want. It's a time he want us to go back to when people were getting lynched. That's what he want. People like this is bad for America. And what scared me for America with people like this is I feel like a lot of us get caught up, even when it's bad people like this. I feel like we get caught up in it depending on what side of the aisle they on. No matter what side of the aisle people like this is on, us as a collective group of Americans, we got to condemn these people. People like him, people like the woke farmer, people like McCardo, all these people, regardless of what side of the aisle they on. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference between left and right and far left and far right and extremists and so forth and so on. That's when it become a problem. If you just a Democrat or a Republican, that's totally fine. When you get to going far left and far right and all, it's a problem no matter which way you going. That's why it's called far. Your ass done went too far. Like, come on now. This dude is bad. Shout out to Miss Boss. She sent me this interview. Like I said, y'all can follow Miss Boss on her YouTube page. It's right there, Miss X Boss. And y'all can follow her on TikTok at Red Shift USA. Red Shift USA on TikTok. SHIFT. Red Shift USA on TikTok. She having a lot of good content over there. Like I said, she the one who sent me this interview. I haven't seen it nowhere. I haven't heard anybody else talk about it. So this definitely was a good piece of content, especially for our channel and what we've been discussing and just with what's going on in our country. So let's get back to the interview and see what he's talking about.
An infraction of our sense of self. Like, you call a black person angry and they have low impulse control, and then they prove to you that they're angry and have low impulse control by assaulting you 41 times more often than white people assault black people assault white people. So it seems like everybody that is being fence riders like yourself, Viva, is sitting on the sidelines and criticizing my tactics. But you could say a million things about my tactics, but tell me I'm a liar. Tell me the things that I'm saying aren't true, that white people aren't being replaced, that Somalis and Muslims are taking over Europe. You say, oh, we don't like his tactics.
I hate to pause it again, though, but like for the white people in here, do y'all feel replaced in any way? And I ain't saying this to try to as a trick type of got you type of question. I just want to know. I'm trying to understand what he means when he say white people are being replaced. I don't get what he means. Replace how? Is he just saying because it's like more of other races than white people? Is that what he's saying? Is he saying there should be more white people in America than anything else, or what? He mean by Muslim and Muslim religions, and he was just saying black folks. I don't think it's just Muslims and Muslim religion. Yes, I think replacement is real. Far as what? You think other races are trying to overpopulate us? Yes, I think that's what he wants, definitely. How? How are white people being replaced, though? Especially in America, man. If you go to the top 1%, the richest people in this country, the people who really run this country, bro, they're white. In other religions, woke man, virus, and having children of other colors and race. Maybe not so much in the U.S. There it's really simple. The white race is afraid of being replaced because the minorities are catching up significantly. Birth rates with white race is depleting by other races are advancing. Start having sex. Respectfully, the other races ain't got no type of superpowers unless you're talking about the Muslim religion. Respectfully, with all the wives and okay, they probably gonna outproduce all us. But as far as just like black folks or Mexican folks or whatever stuff like, they ain't doing nothing but having sex. They ain't got no superpower. They just reproducing. He doesn't like interracial children. Let's just get back to the video. I mean, I still ain't getting a good reason to.
I mean, that every Netflix movie does not have a purposeful ending where the white girl ends up with the black guy, Viva. Tell me that all this is a coincidence, that all of the commercials are interracial, that white people are disappearing, our birth rates are 1.2, and for every 2 people, we're only having 1.2 children. Tell me it's all coincidence, and I have no grievance here, and I should sit down, shut up, or I have beatings coming to me from talking about this stuff.
First of all, nobody's saying that to you. In fact, I think you're the.
I ain't saying you got to get into no breeding war, but I'm saying if you concerned about your numbers, how do you get your numbers up? I'm not trying to get into an argument with nobody or fight with nobody. I'm trying to understand what he means by saying white people are getting replaced. And a couple explanations that I was given had something to do with getting outpopulated. So that's why I jokingly said, but truthfully said, have sex. If white people as a whole was feeling like they're being replaced for that reason, get it done. Don't use no protection. Respectfully, just go at it. Over and over and over and over and over. Do whatever you got to do. Shit, adopt. Shit. He know what lynching mean. It don't shock me at all that he using the word lynching, man. He want to lynch somebody. He want to lynch some. I hear that, Jake, but they don't support it like others do money-wise. I hear that, Jake, but they don't get the support like others do money-wise. Who don't? Who don't get the support? Well, he always saying black people are being replaced too then, because he only really talks about Muslims and Somalians. Exactly. So that's what I was saying. A lot of the stuff he say, you probably have an easier time making sense of what he's saying if he was just saying Americans. He's saying whites. So if he was saying, let me just give y'all a little scenario right quick before I start the video right quick. If he was just saying he felt like Americans getting replaced because of like Muslim religion and can have the multiple wives and all that, and then they gonna have more babies than us and have more Muslims than Americans over here, then that's totally different. That's totally different. He's saying whites. So he talking about everybody else, bro. Let's be real. He fully all about white, which is messed up. Exactly. That's the whole point, bro. This man against anything that ain't white. So Muslim, Somalian, Black, Indian, Mexican, all that other shit, as far as how he look at it, all that is just one thing. Ain't no difference in none of that. I don't know. I kind of look at DEI different, and I used to feel like that, but I ain't gonna lie. I kind of see it from both angles. I can see how black people can feel about the DEI shit, and I can see how white people can feel about the DEI shit. So I just came to the conclusion that's like a tough conversation, just because it gets a little too racial with it. But I ain't gonna lie. I see where both sides is coming from with DEI, and I don't know. Probably just best if we don't have the shit. Because it don't really matter what race you is, and I know it probably be benefiting one side more, but at the end of the day, I just feel like when it really just comes down to DEI, shouldn't nobody be getting hired, fired, or nothing else because the color of their skin. Nobody. And I feel you know, you're trying to make stuff fair, you trying to even stuff out. That ain't how it should work, though. That ain't how it should work. So that's just how I feel about that. And I used to have the same thought process as you, as that was some racist ass shit. So I just got to keep it real on that because I really don't feel like that no more. Removing DEI actually lost white people jobs and scholarships. In fact, it don't matter who it lost jobs and scholarships at this point. I think that was a mistake that needs to be fixed. So I'm pretty sure some black people lost jobs, and some Mexican people lost jobs, and some white people lost jobs. Shouldn't nobody be getting hired or fired because the color of their skin. It shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't be happening. So when he's saying, and I get that it's a bunch of training to be a pilot and all that type of shit. I get that shit because I used to say the same thing. So when he is saying when he see a black pilot, he gotta wonder is that pilot qualified. I don't think he's just saying that to be racist towards black people anymore. I think he's just like metaphorically speaking, like, are you really qualified or did they just hire you because you're black? And I know as a black person how that is to hear, especially with what most of us is taught about somebody like Charlie Kirk or how the clips or whatever make Charlie Kirk look. I'm just saying, with that DEI situation, I don't think he was saying that in a racist way, and I don't think DEI is good for no race. You know what I'm saying? Because, and then on the other side of that, like us as black people, we just got to get to a point where, and I'm not saying we're not at this point, but I'm just saying, like, well, we just want to get what's ours and really get out there and make stuff happen for ourselves and stop always wanting somebody to give us some type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should want to, if you a pilot, you should want to know, like, you earned that. And if you that black pilot and you done worked your whole life for this, you should have a problem with maybe getting hired because DEI. You know what I'm saying? Oh, hire me because I'm qualified, hire me because I went to school, hire me because I'm a professional, hire me because I know what I'm doing. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. We just got to do better. That DEI shit ain't right, though. Let's start the video back.
Deliberately or inadvertently proving my point, which is you might have legitimate grievances. And then my question to you is, do you think running around doing the Sieg Heil and using the word N-word lovers is going to promote the legitimate grievances that you have or make it easier for other people to support those grievances? Do you think it makes it easier or harder?
I'm worried about the reaction of the community that I'm representing, having somebody that's saying the things that they're thinking and they're believing and they want people to say. I'm not really interested in the reaction from all of the mongrel, and leftist newspapers and all of these Muslims that come and attack me online and people like that. I'm looking, because guess what? There's a huge silent majority of white Christians in this country that feel like they can't get jobs, right? Because they're getting replaced with DEI hires. And that is verifiably, factually true. Out of the Fortune 500 companies in the last 10 years, 90% of their new hires have been DEI. So white men can't get jobs. We can't get into colleges with the same test scores because of affirmative action, and they have to have some type of quotas. So, we're not getting jobs. We're not getting into colleges. They're stealing our women through their freaking psychology, reverse psychology, Netflix shows, and all of the interracial commercials and everything. And it's just one by one. We're being disenfranchised across the board. And then you have somebody like me that stands up, who also shares the same characteristics of Charlie Kirk, white, Christian, American man, Trump supporter, right-leaning, and who shares the same ought against the enemies of God, Muslims. And he said is the sword that will slit the throat of America. And you say, oh, Charlie Kirk, Jake Lang. That's pretty inflammatory, Viva, is it not? And they shot him in the throat in the same type of scene with thousands of people around him, many people arguing with him, and somebody shot him. I mean, how much different from what happened to Charlie Kirk is what nearly happened?
That's how you know that's what he wants to happen to him. And you want to really ask the question of how what happened to Charlie Kirk is any different from what happened to you, is that you sitting right here on this podcast, that you sitting here talking, that you sitting here breathing, that you're around your children and your wife, your significant other, whoever. Nothing like what happened to Charlie is what happened to you. Only why you comparing the two is try to put your All right, can y'all see it? Is it back up? Yeah, my fault, y'all. I don't know what happened. It says the internet was messing up. I had to reload it. My fault. We're just gonna start the video back. I forgot my train of thought anyway.
In every single continent and homelands that they have, Charlie Kirk would have said no. And so we share all these same ideas and these same values. And you're going to tell me that because I have a different tactics to get it at the front of the news feed to make sure that I'm being, breaking through that algorithm to get the message out there. White people are being replaced. Take away all the fluff. Take away the fact that I was nearly
Jake, so stop for a second. The great replacement, a lot of people talk about. This is a serious question. You have to think about it. Is what you're doing making it easier or harder for people to sustain or object to that politics? In reality, is what you're doing making
We're trying to make
harder?
up America's largest voting bloc and make sure that we are having each other's back in our interest, because every other voting bloc, what happens is you get one of these people in position of power and they funnel over all their other Pakistani brothers and Indian brothers. They hire them at their workplaces. They make sure they get into the government jobs underneath them and their agencies, and they're completely here to take over all of these different factions. So what I'm trying to do is explain so politely as I do, famously politely.
Who said he can't say what he want to say? Say Jake Lang has every right to say whatever the fuck he wants, just like any black, brown, yellow, purple, gay, what the fuck ever has the right to say what they want. Don't like it, get the fuck on. Tell us how you really feel. So if you cool with them spraying hate and stuff, that's fine. But I know, as far as me, I ain't saying what he can't say, what he shouldn't say. I'm just calling out what he's saying. It's hate talk. He just calling for the wrong shit. He just calling for what the country don't need. But can he say it? Do he got the right to say it? I guess so. Yeah. Ain't nobody trying to tell him he can't say it. But what I will say, we'll continue to say, is it's straight bullshit. He think he is attacking me, LOL. I said he spread hate. He is spreading hate, 100%. I denounced him, so he said I'm against free speech. Nah, that ain't true. Just don't agree with what he's saying. Like, you got free speech, but that don't mean it's so free that everybody got to agree with it. He does have a technical legal right, but that doesn't make it more when it's definitely hurtful facts. It's just simple as that. We do not have to tolerate it, and we deny help. The black men and women who rescued right-wing influencer Jake Lang from protesting in Minneapolis Union Bullet January 19, 2026. Jake was having shock. What did his trend? Shock. What is the trend? Maury is in here land fucking up. What? Okay. Relax and tight. All right. Just take your time. We don't be in here to argue and fight. We could disagree, that's fine. But it's okay to disagree. It's all right. He denounced them. That's him. You feel like he can say whatever the fuck you want to say, like, yeah, black, brown, purple, gay, cat, dog, fish. You right. All right? It's all right. To be honest, maybe he is probably left posing us right now. No. Don't start. Look, my regular people on the right, do not start. Don't start. This motherfucker is a conservative, y'all. Don't start. Hey, y'all know y'all ain't like this. That's why it's important to condemn it. We're going to start the video back. I think I should just go back just a tad bit. Just because it's a long interview from what I heard, so we need to stop playing and let the shit play.
Fluff. Take away the fact that I was nearly
Jake, so stop for a second. The great replacement, a lot of people talk about.
I'm in the middle.
A serious question. You have to think about it. Is what you're doing making it easier or harder for people to sustain or object to that politics? In reality, is what you're doing making it easier or harder?
We're trying to make up America's largest voting bloc and make sure that we are having each other's back in our interest, because every other voting bloc, what happens is you get one of these people in position of power and they funnel over all their
Yeah,
other
we going on rant.
Pakistani brothers and Indian brothers. They hire them at their workplaces. They make sure they get into the government jobs underneath them and their agencies, and they're completely here to take over all of these different factions. So what I'm trying to do is explain, so politely as I do, famously politely, that white people need to see themselves as a people group, as a heritage, a shared culture, a value system, a religious undertone, being the race of Christianity that brought it to the entire world and made it what it was, the institution that has lasted thousands of years and conquered continents in every corner of the globe. And, the love of Jesus Christ that is the underlying message of it all. But we have an identity. And the way that you rob a people's future, Viva, is by stealing their identity. You can't know where you're going unless you know where you're from. And by telling us that multiculturalism is our strength, that we need diversity in every single aspect, what happens is you start to boil down a people and you turn it into a stew, unrecognizable goop, and those people are easily controlled.
I agree, I'm white and I have the right to want to preserve my heritage and country. I mean, you do got the right for that, but why you gotta hate? You ain't gotta hate everybody else to do that, right? You ain't gotta not like no other races to preserve your heritage and country, right? Thanks for the $2, Jessica. I'm saying, like, what's going on? Thanks for the $2 more. Jake Lang was breastfeeding. Come on, stop. Don't stop. Racism is not heritage. Thank you. Boom. That's the best thing about watching videos like this. It really can get a real conversation going. It really can get some real conversation going. Jake Lane is openly calling for getting rid of everyone else. Facts. So that ain't just preserving your culture and your heritage when you trying to get rid of everybody else. They scream, they hate us, want to remove us. LOL, I can return the same. Who screamed that? We need context. Who screamed that? Who screamed it? He very racist, and that's why I don't like him. I love you, Mama Bell. Who screamed that? Y'all just be painting with a broad brush. When all these situations coming up, it's always just the protesters or the far right or the far left. What about regular folk? Why nobody think from the perspective of just regular everyday Americans who ain't racist, who don't hate people, who just want to do the right thing, who just want to work a job and raise a family? Like, why don't nobody never think from the perspective of just regular folks? Of course, you're going to sing right if you comparing it to the perspective of a dumbass protester, respectfully. They ass be out there stupid as hell. But Jake Lane's stupid too. Not in the sense of can't read a book or can't spell or nothing like that. Just his actions are stupid. I do, but I understand his concern. Articulate it then. What's his concern? Regular folks is church in Minnesota taking 24,000 meals to immigrants who are afraid to leave home. I'm just talking about, I ain't here to say what regular folks is. I'm just saying some always getting compared to some extreme or some extremist when it's just like, okay, that's a bad seed. That's a bad person. I'm finna play Miss Boss. I'm sorry. And y'all follow Miss Boss on her YouTube channel, Miss Boss, or her TikTok, Red Shift USA. She the one who sent me this video. She do a lot for this channel, so y'all follow Miss Boss. The main thing would be trying to have a conversation. Every time I try to play this video, I read a comment that I want to respond to, but okay, I'm going to play the video. I know it's long. I got you. Yes, please. I want to watch it. Y'all always teaming up on somebody.
Mass when they don't have homogeny, shared identity, and then they all vote for Big Brother, social credit score systems, New World Order, totalitarian deep state, all of that stuff. That's what their goal is, to replace a homogenous group of people that are pro-liberty, as white Christian Americans are, with another group of people, South Americans, Africans, and Indians, Pakis, and Muslims. And all those people come from totalitarianism, come from corruption. They don't have that same, background and heritage and shared value system of family, Christian values, small government, pro-liberty, pro-freedom of speech, pro-Second Amendment, and they ship all these people in here. They make it impossible for us to reproduce. They even mind control and program our women into hating us. And then they get a soup of people with no shared heritage, with no history, that all is malleable. And then they control them all. And there's no more Second Amendment in America. In 3 generations, what do you think it's going to be like to be a white person in America? It's going to be like being a white person in South Africa right now, where the Boers kill the Boers, right? Whole entire stadiums full of black people. Kill the Boer, remember? You know, kill the Boer, kill the white farmer. That's what it's going to be like 3 generations from now in America. Kill the Boer.
Let me do something that I used to do.
And it's not a joke.
Let me do something that I used to do in the practice.
It's funny.
Let me ask you. I'm going to do something I used to do in the practice of law, Jake. What was the question I asked you?
Viva, I think you're. Yeah, I don't know where we started, but I know where we're going.
Jake, what was the question I asked you?
I think you were asking me something about the practicality of making of what I'm doing, actually influencing it for the good or for the worse.
Okay, so
and my explanation of that.
No, yeah. So is what you're doing making it easier or harder?
I'm trying to influence white people to people up as a people group. I don't care if the ethnics are getting angry that I'm upset with them and I'm saying inflammatory stuff. Well, I'm trying to talk to my people group and represent a people group and represent their best interest. Because last night on Alex Jones, he started trying to glaze over, my seriousness. And God bless him, because he's a peacemaker, and I understand the want to try to quell racial tensions, and I don't want extreme racial tensions, but he's trying to kind of plug in statistics that blacks are turning to Trump more and more and more, and I just had to shut down that whole entire coddling, because you have Irina Zaruski of 41 times white people being attacked by black people than the other way around, and we're going to start to point out statistics and stuff. Their culture is completely brain rot. I mean, it's disgusting gang, whore culture, and they need a whole entire reformation. The black community in America, they're murderous, and they have zero moral values right now in 80% of the community, and that is untenable for the future of America. And if I say it and people are pissed off about it, we'll fix it then. And so that people like me will have, something to stick at your community and to.
What's true? Meso corny. What's true? You killed the rest. You killed the best of us. Now you get the rest of us. Well said. This the rest. This the rest right here. We don't teach white supremacy to the same extent we used to. That's what you upset about. See, I'm gonna just start it back. I ain't even gonna, so I'm gonna just start it back. I'm gonna just let y'all come and say
why you apart with, because we won't have to at that point. You guys will be, a people group that is functioning instead of an unfunctioning swarm of degeneracy and gang culture garbage that's destroying America.
Jake,
every day on X, you see another black group swarm of people ganging up on a white person, which was pretty much what happened. And God bless. And let me backtrack from my diatribes here for a second, because this is very important. And I pray that the people that helped save my life, the black people, the Muslim people, and the woman that was driving the car and her friend, Dea, that were in the red car, to those people, I want to say thank you. I'm super amazingly grateful. I know God has moved your hearts to be extremely compassionate people. And for that, I still believe in the humanity of everybody. And I'm grateful for you. And I just want to say especially to the woman that picked me up in the car and her friend Dea, that I feel it disgraceful that you told the world that if you knew that I was a pro-ICE supporter, that you would have left me there to be devoured by the hundreds and thousands of wolves that were trying to murder me. And I hope that you check your heart on that, because being a good Samaritan is a biblical story of two people groups that hated each other. But when one saw the other injured beyond capacity on the ground, they literally picked them up and went and tended to their wounds. And Jesus was using that as an example of how to love. And so I thank you for being good Samaritans. I thank you for showing love, the Muslim men that put their lives on the line to walk me out of there. That's the right thing to do. But that right, good, righteous deed can also be true at the same time as white people deserve to have a homeland and not be replaced. It can also be true. So I can love these people, go and visit them in their homelands where I can truly immerse myself in the fullness of their culture, right? Because all the dress, the laws, the religious systems, the whole entire society is built around their culture. I would go there, sit down with their family, eat dinner, be immersed in the experience of being in an Arab household and wherever they're from, their lineage. And then I would be able to return the favor and invite them over to my American household. And we would be able to visit each other like normal people instead of having one predatory group of people swallow another. And so while I'm thankful they saved me, my viewpoints on white replacement are not changed. I still have an underlying faith in the humanity of people. That was really, really amazing to see, and I'm grateful for them.
You would understand. I mean, you would agree that there's a difference between, let's just, another hypothetical. I hate them, but we have to.
So at least you got to give bad as I think he is for the country. That was respectful right there. Because then, I mean, in the one we was watching with Alex Jones, it seemed like he ain't want to thank him at all. He ain't want to give him no type of praise or even just a simple thank you. So I'm saying he grateful for them. And he happy they was there. He happy they saved him, but it just don't change his stance on what his message is and all that. All that's cool, but at least he said he appreciated them and he grateful for them. So just got to get credit where it's due. So that was cool for his ass to say that.
A woman at 5 p.m. getting raped in a park versus a woman dressed in, a short skirt walking through a bad part of town at 3 a.m. Both are victims, but you would appreciate that there's a degree of probability or likelihood in terms of one over the other that makes one victim not more blameworthy, but a little less blameless.
I'm not going to derail this completely, but I just have to say white women walking home in Poland half naked have a much smaller chance of being raped and sexually assaulted because they don't have a bunch of degenerate Muslims, third worlders, 70 IQers in their country who have been lusting after from Hollywood, making our women an object of lust and beauty. And these people are pearl clutching at our women and they're breaking into our countries and raping them. So anyway, I have to point out the underlying social factor that would probably going to undermine your argument anyway. A woman in Poland dressed like a school teacher or dressed like a hooker has a better chance, either one, walking home and being safe than a woman dressed like a school teacher or a hooker in a majority ethnic area in America. So that's my argument back to you. Whether a Polish girl's dressed like a hooker or a school teacher, she's got a much safer chance getting home than a white woman like Irina Zaruski, who was dressed like a perfect church angel and was stabbed in the throat, or the woman in Chicago who was burnt alive on the bus, also dressed normally. So I just have to, I know what you're going to try to say. If you purposely set yourself up for something, are you less or more culpable for the results?
Your answer is it would happen less often, but it would be more predictable even in Poland to be walking around scantily dressed.
Of course. I had to insert my political beliefs into your question.
Then at least as far, because I think most people say that, you don't deserve to get beaten or stabbed. I don't even know what ultimately happened to you in Minnesota. But if you walk around certain parts of the neighborhood, even if you go to the Hasidic neighborhood with the thing that says, "I hate dirty Jews," you'll probably have things thrown at you. So you're going to, but am I not allowed walking around? It's a First Amendment right. Am I not allowed doing it? You're allowed walking up to a big burly guy at a bar and saying his wife is an ugly piece of trash, and you should expect to get punched in the face. And if you do, you can't really just walk. I just express. How did that happen to me? Woe is me. I'm just like Charlie Kirk. You're not going to get that from people.
Well, there's a difference. Let's talk.
That's all I was saying. I got to pause it right there because earlier when we was watching the interview earlier of him with Alex Jones, that's all I was saying. People saying like, "Oh, Jake, you saying you happy he got hurt? You saying you support the violence?" That ain't what I was saying. All I was saying is he ain't innocent in what's happening to him. And it's just like the analogy dude just made. If you just gonna walk up on the dude in the bar and tell him his wife ugly as shit, then play victim after he slap you, then that's a you problem. So. That's all I was saying earlier on. Call for no violence. I condemn all violence. Shouldn't nobody getting hurt. That's in a nutshell. That's basically what I was saying, though.
Like normal civilized people, political demonstrations have a different understanding social a contract, Viva, do they not? When people have specifically named.
Actually, you mentioned Poland. I just watched a clip from a fight with an Iranian fighter. I think it was Russia or Poland who kicked one of the girls in the butt who was holding the sign. And the joke was, oh, he thinks he's in Iran where he gets to do that. And they beat the shit out of him after the fight. So, like, I mean, the idea that
I'm aware of the Muslim shit, because my eyes got open to it when they went to Dearborn. When he was in Dearborn, Cam, and all them, and that's when I first came to know of who Jake Lang was. Now, with what's going on in Dearborn and the Muslim strongholds in America and stuff like that, me personally, I do got a problem with that. Probably not to the degree of Jeff Lang, but I do got a problem with that. Like, I got a problem when they was in Dearborn and they was getting attacked and things happened to them in the Dearborn police. When I'm doing that, saying like they was leaning more towards being Muslim than being a police in the United States of America who's supposed to protect all the citizens. So I get it on all that. It ain't necessarily that. It ain't necessarily like everything he say don't make no sense. It's just where I feel it's all coming from. I just think it's all coming from a hateful spot in a hateful place. You know what I'm saying? Because if he had these, if his issues was just with that, then like I said, he'd be saying Americans. He's saying white Americans, bro. He's not speaking for nothing but white. We don't have just white Americans here, bro. This ain't no all white country, bro. This ain't. I don't think the Muslim movement is an issue. Just certain strongholds they got and have certain stuff going, and it's. We're gonna talk about that another day, because with Jake, I just can't. I don't know.
Saying that's like in a personalized, the social contract for personal interactions is, men will not be dishonored in a personal interaction, or else, he'll have to restore his honor by fighting whoever disrespected his wife or whatever. But that's a different standard. In America, we have a long-standing history of being able to have political movements, political times where you meet up, you say inflammatory things, you say things, and that to squash that speech is the same. It's basically the same argument you're making is because Mark Zuckerberg doesn't agree with me and he's going to bully me online, basically euphemistically throw stuff at me as I'm trying to speak my piece and ban me and shut down my free speech. We have an understanding in America that political speech and free speech in that regard is the highest sacred honor. And to take someone out of the public square and try to lynch them is the same thing as Mark Zuckerberg not agreeing with what you're saying and banning you from Facebook and closing. If you used to be able to reach 100 million people a year, right? And all of a sudden you have no Facebook. It's like the same thing, being lynched in the public square while making political statements, not personal. I'm not saying your mother's this and your mother, we're talking about, macro level ideas. It's like the philosophers in Greece out in the town squares espousing their ideas, which weren't about personal attacks, but trying to get to a level of truth together. Are white people being replaced? Why are white people out on the street right now screaming about their replacement? Let's start that conversation. And the social contract was completely broken when I was kidnapped and engulfed in a crowd of thousands of people trying to kill me for saying, hey, I'm being replaced. A swarm of illegal immigrants and white liberals that hate America swarm me and try to kill me.
We're gonna come back to that. Let's have that conversation is one thing. And if slapping a Koran with bacon or setting it on fire or referring to people as N-word lovers, if it makes it impossible or more difficult for people to have that conversation, what are you doing? Are you actually not, whether you think you are or not, making your own what you believe to be a righteous pursuit more difficult?
How many? Let's talk serious numbers here. Let's be serious people here. How many children saw my video yesterday, saw me being lynched, sat down at the dinner table with their mother and father, who have maybe followed me on social media and know about the fullness of my message, and say, Mommy, Daddy, why was that Jake Lang man hurt today on TV? Why were all those people trying to hurt him? Well, it's because he's a Trump supporter. He's also a white Christian man, and he says that, and he's proud of being an American. And those leftists and those people, they're trying to stop the lawful orders of President Trump to deport illegal immigrants. So how many conversations, how many because of the spectacle that it was, unfortunately, one of the most harrowing and horrific experiences of my life. But the conversation's going. Me and you are here. The proof is in the pudding. You who disavowed me a week ago have now platformed me to reach tens of thousands of people to talk about, hey, Europe culture is gone. It's being replaced by kebabs and mosques.
I gotta tell you something. That's one hell of a manipulative way of describing what I'm doing right now. I'll tell you.
I'm just saying, you disavowed me a week ago, and now I have a platform to speak to you.
But I'm telling you,
Jake, as my friend, and as these random audience viewers.
Jake, I didn't disavow. What I had to do is say what you are doing is you are not Charlie Kirk, because Charlie Kirk was killed at his own event, speaking peacefully and rationally with people. He wasn't assaulted going into their, whether you like it or not.
That event was my event. I announced that a month and a half ago, and they built a counter event around mine. I even reached out to the city for a permit for inside, and they closed down the building 2 days before my march. Nobody knows that. I haven't even talked about that. My permit and the building were completely disavowed, just like you disavowed me. And they closed down Minneapolis City Hall, the state capitol, everywhere. And my event, unfortunately, had zero police there. They literally escorted me from the sidewalk when I first arrived, brought me into the middle of the crowd right outside City Hall, and disappeared. I got up on that ledge, and as far as the eye could see, there was not one police officer in the swarm of 3,000 to 5,000 angry, ravenous people who were trying to disembowel me for being a right-wing, conservative, Christian, straight, white, male, Christian, all the identifiers they hate. They just wanted to kill me because I match up in the slots of things that they hate.
No, they probably have an issue with. I mean, the reality is they would have an issue with a great many people. But the other reality is, like, you're not as innocent.
They would have done that to Nick Shirley. Let's just be clear here. With or without the inflammatory rhetoric that I have, if Nick Shirley was there, he would have been crowd surfed and disemboweled like the zombie movies or whatever. I mean, they've been the same way they tried to get me. So we're arguing about mediocrities here on our side of the field, but they killed Charlie Kirk, and he was way nicer than I am. Viva, maybe niceness is not how white Western civilization came to be. Maybe Napoleon wasn't so nice. And Marcus Aurelius. Maybe they were masculine, strong, tough, and they told the truth no matter if people liked it or not, and they did what was necessary to secure a future for their posterity. Maybe niceness is what the liberals do when they invite all of our...
They did what was necessary to secure their own future, and if someone's going to posit that what you're doing is the exact opposite, that you're not just pissing off people, you're not just alienating your...
Patches, don't be blaming that on everybody else. Can't nobody push me to be nothing I don't want to be. Can't nobody else actions or what nobody else doing make me mad enough to be something I don't want to be or something I don't agree with. So if that's how you're gonna be and that's what you're gonna be, just stand on that shit. Don't blame that shit on nobody else. Say, this how I am, this what I stand for, and take it or leave it. Don't blame that shit on nobody else. That ain't nobody else's fault. I'd have been through enough shit that Ben could have took that route. That's such an easy way out. Oh, I'm gonna be like this and be like that because I'm sick of it. No, hell no. That ain't why. Far right doesn't mean I don't like other races. Ain't nobody say that. I never said that's what that means. So, that's a little weird, but I ain't say that. I told you I love you in the chat. You ain't see it? I said, we love you, Patches. You still came back with hurtful stuff. They would have done the same exact thing to Cam. Cam was out there. Cam was there. Don't get me wrong. Cam them be getting attacked, and Nick Shirley, it probably would happen to Nick Shirley in all fairness just because the fraud shit. So, excuse me. I can't say 100% if some Somali people or some people from Minnesota called Nick Shirley, this won't happen. It probably would happen, but Cam was out there. I mean, they didn't fuck with Cam. They didn't say stuff. They didn't do this shit like do something. But I ain't, at least not in Minnesota, I ain't seen the whole crowds get at Cam like this. I started watching you when you and Cam didn't like each other. That's cool. So you see how stuff can work out. I ain't got nothing against you, Patrick. You free to believe what you want to believe. Just don't be saying, "Oh, I'm like this because of this and that." I can't let you get away with that. We need both sides in the chat for open discussion and to learn from each other. That's what this whole channel is about. That's why, as long as you don't be disrespectful and no personal attacks, you can come in and say what you want to say, as far as how you feel and what you believe in. Like, Patches ain't gonna get kicked out of here, nothing like that for the stuff she's saying. She ain't disrespecting nobody. She's just saying what she believe in or what she gonna do or whatever. So that's fine. Everybody got a voice up in here. If you don't agree with it, articulate why you don't agree with it and have a conversation or just move on.
Yourself from lefties in Minnesota, there is a large faction of people on the right who say, A, as a Jan 6, you don't speak for me. B, as a Christian, you don't speak for me. And who the hell do you think you're appealing to?
For every detractor, there's
Jake,
200 silent supporters, and that is a real number.
Who are you appealing to when you make it, by what you say and do, virtually impossible for anyone to have the legitimate underlying political conversation? You make it impossible for anyone to go out there and say, yeah, you make it an embarrassment, some might say, for Donald Trump to have pardoned you when you're out there screaming the N-word.
I categorically deny that. I think that President Trump had an agenda, and one of his number one agenda pieces was immigration. Why immigration? Why is the number one agenda piece for Europe immigration? Why is the number one agenda piece for America immigration? Because white people don't want to see their homelands disappear. Let's cut through the shroud of bullshit. We hired President Trump for a reason. I'm out there supporting ICE as their people are trying to ram their cars into them and murder these people, track them down, dox them, and ruin these people. I'm out there with an American flag, getting punched in the face, dragged throughout the crowd, saying, I support ICE, send the Somali daycare scammers back. I mean, come on. It's like, you know, the mechanisms of mental gymnastics that people like you on the right wing that also personally know me and are my friends have to do to try to condemn me through this. I mean, Alex Jones had me on, and he's nowhere near the closeness to me as you did. And he even said people are trying to say that what you did yesterday was wrong are wrong. You did what was right. He supported me the entire time because he's a political acumen and understanding that this is what President Trump also, I'm not saying all of the inflammatory rhetoric President Trump stands by, but the underlying aspect that white people don't deserve to be replaced and we're being predatorized, and the Department of Justice used to crack down on Catholics and white school board moms and white Jan 6ers and white doctors that didn't give the COVID vaccine, all Christian right wingers that were under lawfare in the last administration. For the basic part of it was that they're white. How about the white bakery shop Christian owners that didn't want to make the gay cake? All of it, if you boil it down, is because we're white, we're Christian, and we have right-wing politics. And we were under attack in the last administration and if you were white, that's what they did to you on social media talking about these things. They shut you down when Joe Biden was in office and Mark Zuckerberg wanted to shut down every person that spoke like I do. So I'm trying to tell you that real people like President Trump and Alex Jones understand the seriousness of the existential threat of white replacement and the changing of the demographics in such a rapid way in Minneapolis and Dearborn and in Plano, Texas has been, and in London, England, and you name it, has been destructive. And we're trying to address it. And they address it in more with bedside manner and grace, and they go about it by calling it illegal immigration. But it's not illegal immigration. That's the dog whistle for white replacement, for the destruction of white Western Christian America and Europe. Elon Musk is tweeting every day a graphic, a statistic of in 1970, Germany was this city in Germany, Berlin, was 98% white. And then it goes 1980, 1990, 2000, 2010. And all of a sudden, Berlin ends up like 42% white. And it's like Elon Musk has woke up to this. Alex Jones is on to this. Donald Trump ran on this. We also, as Americans and white people, which you are, Viva, some people won't say it, but I'm looking at you. You look white to me. You're a white man. You act like a white man, too. So we need to understand that our way of life is under attack, and that's what President Trump ran on. And the dog whistle, whatever you want to call it, illegal immigration, immigration reform, ICE, it's just one thing. We're freaking panicking for our grandchildren and great-grandchildren's future. That's what's happening. Me, my generation, and people that think like me are in full freaking panic mode because we're being displaced. And we have no future in this country and our own homelands. In Europe, in Ireland, they're being replaced. They're being and they're being harassed and antagonized. You see the migrants they're beating up the school kids, the Irish school kids, and trying to like humiliate ritual and cuckold them. And these people, they don't like us and they hate us. And I don't know how people don't see it. You want to dance around it and make other facts more relevant, you know, and kind of splice into peripheral issues. But we're talking about something very serious. And the core of it is that I'm right. And I may not say it right, but I'm not saying wrong things either. I'm not saying lies. I'm saying the truth in a way that you and many people don't like it. Well, kiss my ass.
Jake. Here's the problem that you're illustrating on the substance, because you pretend that the only disagreement, any disagreement, which there isn't, is on the actual demographic shift, the actual Great Replacement. I'm looking for tweets of mine that go back 5 years talking about the Great Replacement not being a racist conspiracy theory, but being an actual political reality. And so you're pretending that that's what the issue is when it comes to what you're doing. And my specific point is that when you walk around doing the Sieg Heil, using N-word lover, burning the Quran and slapping it with bacon. No, you listen. When you do that, you therefore make it impossible for anybody to actually have this conversation, because now we're lumped together with, I mean, I don't even want to say neo-Nazis, because I'm not even sure that neo-Nazis are ever going to accept you given your Jewish heritage. They'll float the picture of you kissing the wall again and say, this is what Jews do. They get into movements, they act subversive, they act contrary to the movement, and now where we had a great replacement.
All right, Andrew Tate, and you know, these wild conspiracy theories.
You have actually, through your conduct, made it impossible to actually have political progress, because now instead of having the actual discussion about the actual political problem, you got screenshots of you doing the Sieg Heil, and doing all sorts of things.
Well, here's the thing:
impossible to support even the substance of what you're saying because of what you're doing.
Well, first of all, most normal, rational people that are seeing the things that I'm doing are not saying, "Oh, Jake Lang is supporting the mass murder of a race of people." I'm saying that the way that Hitler went about restoring his country through strong nationalistic fervor and an understanding of his people and the heritage and the shared bloodline and what made his people a special people, and restoring that honor, making a good society, and fighting against the global powers that had been trying to destroy white Western Europe, and they still are. And obviously, I don't agree. I'm for deportations. I'm not for death camps. That's retarded. It's ridiculous. But, you know, there's a civil, normal, legal, righteous way to go about this. And, you know, that's through ICE. That's through mass deportations. That's through denaturalizations as well, from enemies of the state. People, anchor babies that are here, that are carrying Mexican flags through the streets and rioting and throwing in. Remember when they're throwing the whole entire concrete blocks on cop cars, waving other people's flags? They're anchor babies. Their parents snuck across the border, had those kids here. The kids grew up watching TikTok and their liberal professors. They went out in the streets and rioted against America. Those people need to be denaturalized and deported and get out of our country.
Good point politically. And now you've made them look like the victims when you go in there and slap a Quran with the bacon and burn it and call
them. That's strength. That's strength. That's strength, Viva, because they say you can't. You know why, Viva? You know why we say nigger? Because they say you can't. Because it's America, and this is free speech. And don't act like something if you don't want to be called it, right? If
what the fuck just happened? I paused it. What'd he say? I'm gonna go back. Hold on. What? Let's see.
on cop cars, waving other people's flags. They're anchor babies. Their parents had those kids here. The kids grew up watching TikTok and their liberal professors. They went out in the streets and rioted against America. Those people need to be denaturalized and deported and get out of our country.
Good point politically. And now you've made them look like the victims when you go in there and slap a Quran with the bacon and burn it and call
No, that's strength. That's strength. That's strength, Viva, because they say you can't. You know why, Viva? You know why we say nigger? Because they say you can't. Because it's America and this is free speech. And don't act like something if you don't want to be called it, right? If somebody acts like white trash, immediately. Alex Jones called some of the protests.
That man said, don't act like something if you don't want to be called it. Wow, bro. Amen, brother. Truth hurts. Hell no, I don't want to be called it, but I mean, oh, how the fuck is this still where this country is at? In 2026, all these years. See, you don't have no black people running around saying the hard ER. It's a difference. It's two words. It's two words. One end with an ER and one end with a GA. It's two different words. You don't have no black people running around using the hard ER. Two different words. It is what it is. Patches, you okay with what he said? It's free speech. Shouldn't disrespect no religious books. According to the person interviewing him, Jake Lane must say that word a lot. He said, yes, I got a call from school that my 7-year-old and his friend were called. Appears to What's going on? Fighting words in public are fighting words. That's a fact. So you can say free speech and all you want, and I'm gonna even take it a step further. You absolutely right. He do get free speech, and he can say the hard ER. He just needs to watch who he said in front of him. And you could take that for what you want to take it for. So if you gonna sit there and say that shit and you think you're gonna be protected and you ain't gonna get slapped because freedom of speech, then try your damn luck. That shit ain't cool to say. That shit ain't okay to say. That ain't what black people say all day. That ain't the same N-word we using all day. That ain't what we calling each other. There's only one reason to say that word that way. Exactly. Snitches end up in ditches. Free speech. Free speech and political shit.
Yesterday that were heckling me and assaulting me and everything. He called him white trash. You know why he called him white trash? Because you're acting like fucking white trash. Okay, that's why. And so when you start to hide language,
there are then bad white Americans that engage in this as well.
Of course, what do you mean the whole entire Democrat Party is brainwash your people into be self-eating zombies? They want to kill their own.
Well,
they want to kill people who are advocating for their best interests. They're like a self-eating, self-effacing virus.
Throwing up a big pile, using the N-word, burning a Koran, slapping with bacon is strength to a 13-year-old who just figured out how to be subversive, who just figured out how to be shocking.
This is the oppression of a people. They put us on the back of the bus. They've taken white people and put us on the back of the bus. We're second-class citizens in our country. And this social virtue signaling, nicety bullshit, the coexist stickers, right? All of this, like letting trans flags into the church and letting the church pastors become women and gay women and all the stuff that we've seen, the nicety and the doling down of strength and edge and passion and honor and masculinity. They used to just tell social situations, hell no, there's not going to be two gay guys kissing at the local barbecue here because I don't want my son seeing that and getting his stomach twisted in knots because it's unnatural and fucking disgusting. Men used to just have that norm. We used to put our foot down and say, and guess what? You know, I'm about to start out here simping for the Muslims and the Jews. You know why? Because they're running, the Orthodox Jews at least, they're running their societies and their neighborhoods with moral fabric and masculinity. The women are in their natural order as a wife and as a mother, and they're elevated there and they're in a beautiful place. They're not talking back and wearing 4 clothes to the club, having 7 baby daddies and 7 abortions. The Muslims and Jews are practicing what they preach, at least in some ways, the Orthodox, and they're living a base lifestyle. But it seems like white Christian men can't get our shit together, and we're allowing the erosion of social norms in our society to the point where, you know, this is the value systems we hold, that anything goes. And it didn't used to go like that. There's not 2 gay guys kissing on the ball drop with 100 million people seeing in Saudi Arabia for the 2026 ball drop, Viva, that I and my family and my kin and my posterity have to be subjected to this brainwashing every day. That's not happening in anywhere, in any place where Orthodox Jews or Muslims are in control, because they're living out the actual lifestyle. That there's no transvestites, there's no school teachers teaching their kids to be gay. I mean, come on, we're fucking up. Excuse me, I'm starting to curse now, but we're fucking up as a culture, as a race, as a people, and we're allowing weakness and feminism to spread throughout our society. This is exactly what we get: white woke idiots attacking the man that's standing up and saying you're being replaced by Somali pirates. It's an insanity to witness this. This mind virus at work.
On the one hand, as relates to the Orthodox, I would suggest you go to Israel and see what a tolerant society that has become, despite.
Yeah, and that's why you see me out there, and I'm not standing with them right now because I have been to Israel, and it's like a gay fest there. It's so gay and it's so broken. They've lost their moral way too. And that's not right. The Jews, I know from upstate New York, right, and Brooklyn and stuff, the Orthodox Jews I know, there's zero of that transgenderism, homosexuality, feminism, none of that. The women are homemakers, and they're lovely, and they're happy, and they're
I often use the reference. It was a movie about the Rwandan genocide, talking about children soldiers and how, you know, they after they killed one person, they would kill more and more and more. And they didn't kill more because it became easier. They killed more to try to dilute what they thought, you know, what they understood was the wrong act to begin with. I may be projecting. And, you know, I'm reading the chat. People say, you're right. You're right on the substance. And my issue with you, what you're doing is your behavior is actually making it more.
There's an algorithm we're at war at. Viva. If I just say what I'm saying, if you alone in a bedroom and just post it online, and I'm like, here's Jake Lang's thoughts on race, right? Okay, let's say we go about it the way chat wants me to. I sit down at my desk right here and I write out 3-4 pages of eloquent, well-worded, thoughtful, respectful understandings of my idea. And then I take that, type it out, and put it on Twitter right now. 16 likes, 782 views, and the world goes on another day, and Irina Zaruski's happen every single moment. So I said, how do you fight this thing effectively and get these things talked about? How do you do this with, you know, and lead like a masculine man instead of podcasting about it and writing Twitter posts? Because my grandpa, the last thing he would have done when he watched a video of Irina Zaruski has been like, I need to retweet this right now. He'd have been like, called up 10, 20 of his buddies and been like, we're going out, we're dealing with this justice. We're making sure that this animal is not continuously released in a revolving door, right? Released from prison, 20 other times by a black judge that was, super sympathetic because so he's got to be let out of prison 20 times to murder a beautiful blonde girl, white with blue eyes. And so, no, I'm not going to just like retweet stuff and casually post online and review videos like other podcasters do. My grandfather, my forefathers, my forebears wouldn't have done that. And so I won't do that. I have to be more than just, a passive political analyst that says, in the background corner with a tiny megaphone, white people are being replaced. No, that's not, it won't go down like that.
Black people, we are
Charlie Kirk did just that and led one of the most
powerful
movements with not just 16 likes and the metric for success. And you're right, lefty loons who incidentally were quite white and quite furry killed him. And
shit to me.
The question is then, I guess the answer is you think that this is the
race just don't mean shit to me outside of me just being proud to be black and proud of what I am and what God made me. That's the furthest race go with me. Like, I don't judge nobody off race. I don't pick who I be around off race. I don't pick who I date off race. No, like, race play no parts and no decisions in my goddamn life, like, at all. Like, I don't think like that. I just don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I just don't give a fuck. It just don't play a part in none I got going on. It's just another way to separate. We all Americans. This man sitting here talking about us like we the Hatfields and McCoys or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, take our country back. I just don't get it. This big nose gonna make me do something I want to do. What me saying my dreads is part of my power as a black man got to do with anything? First of all, this is some black shit. This is part of our culture. Dreads. This is some black shit. I thought he was supposed to be getting rid of illegal immigrants. Jake Lang is distracted. What do you give a fuck about as far as what you are concerned with? What you mean? My only concern is keeping the country together. Thanks for the $5. Jake, is it only 4 months ago you hated Cam Higby? Does this guy not get the same grades? I ain't never hate Cam Higby because I was scamming him. And far as, thanks for the $5, as far as getting him the same grades, I done gave Jake grace after grace after grace because I already knew what he was after Dearborn. But I gave him a chance. I kept watching his other video. Then I watched the video with the piglets and the Quran and the bacon and all that shit. I just can't get with it. I tried to give him grace. I tried to give him a fair chance. I'm just one person. I don't like what he's doing. I don't agree with what he's doing. And that's me. I'm not trying to force that on nobody else. I'm not trying to tell nobody else how to feel about him. I don't like him. Man sat there and said the N-word like nothing. At plenty different times in this video talking about the race I am like nothing. Why are you trying to get me to like him? For a black person to like Jake Lang, you must hate yourself. Hey, I don't need friends that bad. I don't want people to like me that bad that I sit up and act like I care or like somebody who I know don't care or like me. That man don't care nothing about black folks. I don't care nothing about him. I don't know how long y'all gonna bring up the Cam shit. Cam, that's my dog. So you can keep being the dead horse if you want to, but that's just you going in the past. We got all past that, actually built a friendship, actually talk off the internet, talk phone to phone, all type of shit. So stay bringing up that for what? Go show that shit to Jake Lang. Go show that to him. If I hated Cam, you would have saw it because I would have hit him. Come on, bro. I ain't really nobody to play with as far as nothing like that. Especially not how I used to be. I was scan cam, and it was working. I love black people. We love you too, Phil. Everybody just want to bring up the shit with Cam. Like,
More
Jake,
effective way
look
to
how
get your
you
message
were.
out there,
Like,
to do what you
I
are
didn't say-
tacitly admitting
I was never
is
this hateful,
improper but necessary to get attention.
I
Probably what
didn't
said was
say
not trying to
so.
curse Lisa.
First
I
of all, social
apologize.
media is at a
Brother.
further generation than it was back then.
Told me he-
There's a solidification of influence. There's a gatekeeping that's and it's naturally baked into the algorithm. So, in order to start a brand new account today in 2026 and grow it to 1 million followers, where you have some level of influence and people are able to, you're able to actually interpret and change the voting mechanisms and the thought processes of the people around you, right? Somewhere around having that large influence right there. To be able to do that from right now, it means you have to do what I'm doing, Viva. I'll tell you, to be very honest,
Well,
you have to break the algorithm. It's different back then, and society's changed.
Jake,
And so
I don't want to attribute what what some people might call a messianic complex. You're not breaking any algorithm. What you're actually doing, and this is my issue with what you're doing. It's not that you're wrong on the substance of the statistics and the
It's the
demographic.
last time I paused, y'all. Digital, what? What? Just say it. I'm saying. So you saying you got something on cam? That's what you keep saying? Thank you, Mama G. Damn. That's all I was trying to tell Patches. I could love being black without hating you because you white. Just like you could love being white without hating me because I'm black. You could be proud of who you are without hating others. It ain't a crime to be proud of being white or proud of being black or anything. Don't none of us pick these races. You didn't pick to be white. I didn't pick to be black. We don't pick this shit. I love you. Boy. I love you too, boy. He supported Jake Lang. I'm talking on him. Nick Campbell stole him. You saw him on Jake's bus. Dearborn here. Bro, he went to document the Dearborn shit. And he said over and over on that stream that he do not support what Jake Lang is saying or what Jake Lang is doing. He said that. He just following the content. He literally said the same thing you put down in this video. He rode on Jake bus. Yeah, he rode on the bus. Don't you know in Dearborn that was his first time meeting Jake, bro? We all was caught by surprise off what Jake Lang said on that video. But if you some type of political YouTuber and you can go where Jake Lang is at, why wouldn't you go? From a content standpoint, bro. Regardless of what you think about this dude, everybody's still watching to see what his dumb ass gonna do next. I'm waiting to see what he gonna do next. I can't stand him. I think he racist. Sorry, he knew Jake before and what it's about. Well, that ain't what he told me. I mean, if you know that to be true, then hey. I'm saying, so you think Cam a racist? Our blood is all the same color. Digital, you saying Cam a racist? I mean, Cam tweeted the same words as Jake's, etc. What words? Do you think Cam a racist? Answer the question so I can play the video. He's tweeting the words, you decide. No, he ain't a racist. I know I looked at racist. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Cam ain't racist. He ain't racist, bro. You just need to meet him. You ever talk to Cam? You ever had a conversation with him? I don't think so. I think it's going off what's on the internet.
Shifts what you're doing makes it impossible for
Cam was
people to
racist,
have that
there's no way I'd
conversation
fuck with him.
without being
Why
lumped
impossible?
together.
I think
No way.
more people have that conversation the last 2 days in America.
Well,
than they've
last
had,
2 days. Last 2 days, I don't know how you're measuring it, but I can tell you one thing: when people on the right, and a large chunk of them, I mean, I think I have a pretty decent sample of the so-called right.
Cam in love with a
Want to
black
have
man.
none of the Jan
racist. What
6ers want
black
to have
man?
anything to do with you.
That's not true. I've had.
I know the fuck you
Diva, I
mean.
can go
I
through
should
my
have said
missed
no.
calls
You're
on
right.
my
I should have-
phone right now. I
I
have
should have
maybe
gotten the whole-
200 Gen 6ers that
I
called me
should have
that
not said
day.
none. I should have said none. Many. There are many on the right who say,
Bro, that's what I learned not to do. Stop playing me more. I knew you was fucking talking about me. Look, stop playing me. Look, you can call it propaganda because you believe something different. That ain't funny, Jessica. He tweaking. Just because you believe something different, but if that's really what he believed, and that's really what he believe is right, then let him put it out. Spraying who propaganda? Who? The government? He free to believe just like he free to believe what he want to believe, just like you free to believe what you want to believe, bro. I'm pretty sure if he seen some shit you post or some shit you say, he'll be saying you spraying they propaganda. Just let people be who they be, far as when it comes to politics or what they think's happening in this country, judge people off their heart or whatever. I met Cam, I talked to Cam, I know Cam. Cam ain't a fucking racist. If you want to call him what he is and what I feel you got a problem with, just say Cam a Republican. Because that's all you saying. You're using the wrong R word. You calling him a racist when he really just a Republican. The fuck I look like being 100% black man and being friends with a racist? The fuck? Jessica, stop playing. I'm finna end the stream, y'all. Because Jessica and Maury. Look, I'm telling y'all now. Jessica and Maury is messing up everything. They play too much, bro. Tell me they got a bromance. Look, I'm finna play this video. Stop playing. I swear, bro.
this is Christianity.
It's a long
And I'm going to
ass
now.
I don't
video,
see that.
y'all.
First of all, I saw an outpouring of unbelievable
You're the
support. Like
wrong
I've
R
never even
word, for
seen
sure.
pages that have never even tweeted me out. I saw everybody and their mother all
Pages that have
condemn.
not tweeted you out might not be aware of the other things that you have done to frustrate legitimate discussion. And the people that
I
might
saw
be coming out
overwhelming
right now.
support, and they understand my discussion. They understand the inflammatory nature of my messaging. But my arguments have solid base. They have logic
Why
behind
would
them.
that
Arguments
shit
have
in my
solid
chat
base,
if
which
that
is
man
why
was
some
racist,
people might say you are the flat Earth
Y'all
conspiracy
jealous,
theorists,
guys.
discrediting other legitimate conspiracy theories because everyone gets lumped together with the
No, because people are listening right
now.
now. They were listening on Alex Jones last night.
Very true,
You know,
Maury.
when I was mugged in the face in Dearborn, and I went on Dan Ball, Real America's Voice, and I go, you know, on all these networks, and I explain my positioning. I give interviews to Nick Shirley while I'm on the ground that are not full of, you know, it's not just a picture of me with a pig head, right? And the Quran in it. That's the imagery. That's the lightning rod. And then you get the interview with Nick Shirley where I talk for 3 minutes about the craziness that school children, white school children, Christian white school children have to walk through their town in Dearborn and hear the Islamic prayer call at 5:30 in the morning, and then at 7 a.m. And I said, this is replacement of a culture.
Okay.
You don't have this anywhere else in America. Why do the police officers have Arabic badges? You know, why is the entire city council Arabic and they're yelling at a pastor, a white Christian pastor, that they will have a parade the day he leaves their town and that he's not welcome there? That, the city council. And so I'm able to do the spectacle, which is necessary for the algorithm. And it's also fucking awesome. Let's just put it that way. To put a Quran in a pig's head is based, and that's awesome. And then people can hear why the Islamification of America is actually destructive, and that we need to be keyed in on this issue. And I think that my activism has been extremely successful by many metrics. But the most important metric to me is that the administration is looking like they're keyed in on this. Harmeet Dillon's reached out, right, because of the civil rights violations that I underwent in Muslim majority Dearborn. And, you know, then we had immigration reform literally the next day. Trump put like a block on almost every single Muslim majority country. And then ICE increased, and the fervor to get ICE into Dearborn increased, and we're seeing wins happen like that. So, you know, the metrics that I'm seeing success on are not just pure virality, but because who gives a shit about virality? We want the actual end goal to be met for more of these illegal mongrel invader immigrants to be deported, and more opportunities for white Americans to be prosperous in their own country to be created. And so, you know, that's the goal that I care about, not the likes, not the tweets, but to change other people's minds to reaching that goal with me, and to influence the administration to know that we've got your back. ICE, we're outside. There may be 5,000 brain-dead woke liberal Minnesotans outside in the snow screaming how much they hate ICE, and you know, that they want to move 10 Somalis into their basement. But there's at least a few patriots that are willing to come out there and show support of ICE, support of President Trump, support of Christian America, support of white America, and not just cower to the background. We shouldn't have to cower. So that's why I went out there. And by those metrics, we were successful. And I think that we showed, you know, instead of just pure imagery of anti-ICE protests and just them, you know, badgering and bludgeoning upon ICE, and, you know, just a complete demonstration without any pushback. We showed MAGA is still alive. Republicans are here. We support ICE. We're not going to just be run out of town. And so I showed up outside the Whipple building. I showed up outside City Hall, which was my event. And I said I was going to be there. I was there. I followed through on my word. I was convicted in my heart by God to follow through, even though I knew it was going to be dangerous, because I'm not going to be coerced under the threat of violence to not express my political beliefs in the public square in America. That's when America stops becoming America. So I have to, at threat of even my own life, be somebody saying the public square and these ideas that I believe I'm right on are so important to me, and to express them in the manner that God has given me the right from, are so important to me that if I'm lynched for doing so, then so be it. I will not do so under threat of being lynched, because it's more important to me to be right within myself and my convictions in my heart than even my own personal safety, because those convictions set a precedent for other Americans and for the future to say, just like the guy who stood in front of the tank, right? When the like Tiananmen Square guy, the famous photo of the one guy standing in front of the tank, he might have been in, I don't even know, I think he was run over, but he just said the precedent is that we must resist tyranny. And I also believe that the leftist woke mob that lynched me is tyranny, right? Because they're trying to shut down my First Amendment right. So we must resist tyranny, even at threat and risk of our own life being lost. And that's what our founding fathers, that's the baseline principle they operated by. And that's why they're revered as men of, you know, renown, because they were men and they didn't care about their own personal safety, but for the posterity and for the ideals of the things that they stood for were more significant than their life is. And that's what the land of the free and the home of the brave is all about. That's the essence of America.
I like that.
I'm looking at the chat, and I'm.
I definitely like I'm saying God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit. That's what I'm talking about.
And it's not to be stubborn about it. The substance of the discussion is different than the tactics, and I don't know that many people would agree that the Christian way, and I don't lecture anybody on how they practice, would be to throw Sieg Heils, use the N-word, and stick a Quran in a pig's head. Any more than anyone should. It's lawful, but you know,
I'm sure there was two Jews, and that's funny because it's not funny, but it's funny. Back in Jesus' day, that we're doing a podcast on the steps of the temple, asking if Jesus' tactics of putting together a 3-chord whip and throwing the money changers tables over of their day was akin to the same conversation that we're having about my tactics, saying, was putting the Quran in a pig's head too much? I'm sure there were two Jews pontificating and questioning the inflammatory tactics of Jesus to drive out evil from his homelands, which was the money changers, which was the false, Talmudic, legalistic, Satanistic Jewish people that did not see Jesus as God, but rejected him as the Messiah, rejected the living God who breathed life into them, and he rebuked them. And I'm sure people thought that was controversial, not only the message, but the way he delivered it in that particular circumstance.
Bro, y'all gotta stop with that shit. People were telling me I'm funded by Israel, and I'm funded by Turning Point, and I mean, people were saying that shit about me. Like, how do you know that? How do you know who the man funded by? The man funded by his YouTube community. I hate when people say Jesus turned tables. You ain't Jesus. You ever watch the man streams? The man got a lot of support. It's documented, well shared with us. I ain't trying to argue no facts. I mean, if it's documented and you got facts, inbox it to me. Send it to my ex at JAKENEWS4800. Send it to me. Send it to my TikTok at JAKENEWS4800. If it's documented and you could just prove it, like, look, Jake, look at this. The same thing Maury saying about the tweet. If he been putting out racist tweets and we don't believe because we ain't synced it, just send it to us. Have a good night, Jen. Enjoy that. Enjoy this. There's no evidence of that. It's what it's seeming like. Bro, I'm gonna just say this, bro. To call somebody racist and ain't got no cold hard facts, bro, and ain't really got nothing to back it up, to just be out here calling somebody something as bad as a racist, that's fucked up, man. You shouldn't do that, bro. That could get people hurt. It literally was all over Reddit last week. He has been known forever. Again, you're new to this game. Who new to this game? You saying that because I'm new to YouTube? Why you keep asking me, is Trump racist? That ain't even what the hell we talking about. How you go from Cam to is Trump racist? The game of right-wing influencers. Bro, I'm a way better judgment of character than you can ever be, respectfully, bro. You know where I come from, boy? Hey, Maury, relax. All right, so he jumped to Trump. You ain't getting to the point. Digital low-key snitch for the left. Relax. Digital is the racist in the room with you right now. Relax, man. We start the video back up. Chat be weird sometimes. We start the video back.
And so controversy is not without precedent in Christianity. I'll just put it that way. And if our intention is something righteous and we're not being overtly evil or torturous or sadistic to try to destroy people, but trying to keep it on the messaging and what the core of the messaging is, and not browbeating people down and making them feel like animals or lesser than, but just simply standing up for the right for my people to exist and keeping it on that level, then I think it's the righteous thing to do. I try not to focus too much on old school white supremacist, these other races are inferior type of messaging. I really don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I love the way that my people live, and I believe that we have a great way of life, white, Western, Christian, and Europeaners. But that doesn't mean that, these other ways of living, these more simple ways of living and stuff don't have their charms to them. And I'm sure there's spiritual benefits as well, too. But, that's the place I try not to go down because I'm not a white community.
That's the only money I make.
Don't get me wrong. Just like I'm pro-life, I have a natural affinity, and I see my people as the people I want to put first and air their grievances and speak and represent and do things for my people. Black. I'm not anti-black. I'm not anti-Muslim. I'm pro-white, and I want to make sure that there's a future for in white country. So, if that makes me the bad guy, then I'm the bad guy.
My only you are the bad guy. Of not caution, but my last observation is I would be wary. I read the chat. There's a lot of people saying go for it, Jake. Yay. Something happens to you, Jake, they'll move on to the next entertainment of the day because the people say, yeah.
Well, let me tell him here then. Let me tell him here because there's somebody out there. There's a young man out there. Pick the torch, pick up the vest, and march onward, Christian soldier. Just because they take one of us down doesn't mean mission is failed. Bear the torch and continue the work that I said. So God bless you, and He'll protect you until he calls you home. You'll be under the shroud of God's love, and that's the best place to be, in His will, in His hand. So pick up the torch and keep going. If they take me out.
I'm going to ask you one last question. And
secure. This is in the easiest way. I like to say this because people don't understand. I guess one of the slogans for my movement is secure a future for white children and Christians in America. Because they'll both be persecuted. Obviously, the Christians, the Bible tells us, will be persecuted. But that's my message. Secure a future. I mean, let's think about it right now. And I told you this at the beginning, but we have probably different viewers here. What will it be like for the third and fourth generation of white children after me in America? It'll be like South Africa. They'll be chanting in stadiums full of black people, kill the Boer, kill the white farmer. All the major cities will be completely infested. There won't be any white people there. You'll have rural white farmers, just like South Africa. And eventually the dysfunction in the inner cities will become so great, just like South Africa, that they will start lynching and murdering and ethnically cleansing the white farmers, the white Boer. And it's the same. We're just a few generations behind them because we're so large of a country. But 3-4 generations from now, the kill the Boer will be the kill the American, kill the white boy, kill the white boy in America. So, and it's happened. We just saw it happen in Minneapolis to me, a lynching of a white man for expressing these values. So don't think it's not even, it may not even.
Y'all relax, man. Let Digital have his opinion. Let him have his views on shit. Let him express himself like everybody else. It is what it is. That's how he feel. That's what he believes. We can agree to disagree. I hope Trump does pay us for what? Tariffs? Trump ain't paying that shit, man. They asked him about them little $2,000 dividend checks. He said, I said that. Better change my time. I'm not reading no more than literal. Trump has acts of many different races. Now, I think if you was a racist, if you ain't like black people or if you ain't like white people, I don't think that means you won't have sex with other races. I don't think that means shit like that. No. It's plenty racist people who will have sex with somebody of that race. Hey, now I can fix a car after watching videos. Stop.
Going to be 3 or 4 generations away, Diva. I didn't think it was possible for a Christian to be lynched by a group of atheists, mostly, in America, with the police standing by.
Last question. Do you? This again might be my own projecting. You I call them antics. You might not. Your tactics have gotten increasingly. I'd say not offensive is not the right word. Shocking.
It is
for lack of a better word. Part of me wants to believe that at some point once you do one thing, you can't go back, and then you have to live with that. You say, well,
for my next trick, I'll be shot out of a cannon into a mosque. I mean, I'm not trying to make them like circus spectacles here, but you do have to be strong, and I want to show that the message of my strength is that Christians aren't afraid. It's like we're ready for war if it needs to go there. We're men. We will put on our boots and.
Yeah, him talking about we ready for war. And why he talking about Christians like Christians is only white people, bro? I was raised my whole life as a Christian. Whole family is Christian. What the fuck he talking about? Your ass wasn't ready to go to war when them people was on your ass. Your wife or your girlfriend, whoever them ladies, was way more ready to go to war than you. Them ladies had their boots on, spraying mace, pushing people, hollering at people. Your ass setting up on the windowsill, scared as hell, looking like a sad puppy. Scared as fuck. I mean, protecting them women. They protecting you. You a coward, Jake Lane. On the real, bro. You a fucking coward, bro. And you bad for America. And we can clearly see that you got way too much hand shit on your chest. That shit coming all up. That shit about to connect with your beard. You need that top button. Definitely need to be buttoned. You hairy as fuck, gang. You need to watch your mouth, bro. Hairy ass dude, bro. Shade that shit.
Kill the aggressor. That's at the end of the day. Bro. That's a real thing. People need to understand. Men are still men.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that lady.
We will not be replaced
gangster shit
and completely displaced and not have any future in our society.
For sure.
People go to war for those things. That's what every war fundamentally is about. The security and the future of one nation and one race. The nations are races, the different races of people, striving against one another. And why should we have to retweet our way into complete
I'm gonna let you
replacement? Just send another retweet, white man. Like no,
but or if you think that by fighting it's burning a Quran and doing the what I would call the lowest level of shock jock antics is fighting.
That's gay.
Some people would say using the N-word, throwing up Zeke Heil is gay. Go to that club with Nick Fuentes and sings,
It's cool.
Listen, go do that, and that's fighting. That's fighting. And
the thing is they want to do the antics or say they're based, right? But being based is having blood on your boots. That's based. The warriors of old times of the Netherlands, and that's base. Not going to a nightclub and sitting behind a podcast microphone for a living.
Why would your wife think I'm mad at you? I ain't mad at you, Maury. That's my dog. I ain't mad at Maury. Jake jealous of Jake. I know, right? If anything, he jealous of me. He stole my name. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I start to bust on the scene, as soon as I start to get a little fame, a little notoriety, and now he come out with the same name as me. I gave you a heart because you said my name right. My mother-in-law name was Doretha. You welcome, Maury. He stole my name. He kind of hopped all on my train. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was talking about Jake. They were talking about me. To the point when that shit just happened to him in Minneapolis, I had people who familiar with me and people who know me coming to my channel and saying, "Oh, dude, I thought you got stabbed. I thought you got hurt. I thought they were talking about you." He stole my whole flow. He stole my whole flow, bro. I'm the original Jake. I'm the original Jake. Jake Lane stepped in Jake's lane. You know what I'm saying? Jake Lane stepped into Jake's lane. You see what I'm saying? Oh, you clicked on my video because you see what I'm saying? So, Doretha, you see what I'm saying? He stole my whole flow. He stole my whole flow. Now that you here, you need to, you know what I'm saying? Go on be a good person and hit the like and hit the subscribe. You know? Then you need to tell him that Jake, me, you know what I'm saying? Jake News want to holler at him. How long? As long as it brings people. I know, right? As long as it brings people. Okay, I liked it. And thank you. Okay? The number one thing people need to remember is like when you disagree with somebody, it shouldn't make y'all enemies. You know what I'm saying? Like it should make one of y'all smart or one of y'all dumb. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't mean that much. You just simply disagree. But that don't mean it's not other things that we can agree on. That's how a friendship like me and Cam's come about. We don't agree on everything. But we found things we can agree on. What things we did have in common. Come on, bro. I don't want to be around people all day who think just like me, who will say just what I'm going to say, who will do just what I'm going to do. I might well be by my damn self. It's going to take all of us to change this. And it ain't just going to take all Republicans or all Democrats. It's going to take a mixture. You see what I'm saying? So long as this separation and this division going on, America ain't getting no fucking better. So people can get out here on this internet and spread their narratives and say all this bullshit, but America as a whole is going down. Day by day by day by day. We're going down. All right? So it's all in your head to think one side.
Yeah, I guess that would be fine to do.
Well, I guess the people that tried to lynch you and
there wasn't Irina Zaruski's happening.
But Jake, that, I mean, what's forget. I'm
yeah, his name. Remember, there was a Dearborn Miss Boss. He talked in his name.
I don't think. But look, personally, I don't think it's based to do some of the stupid stuff. It makes it impossible to have the substantive discussion. You can come on here. I listen to you. I know you. I happen to personally think maybe I've said publicly what I think.
You were already saying, you were like alluding to the fact that like I'm an escaped zoo animal, deranged and broken from prison. Like the arguments that I'm making, like the logic that I'm saying right now is not clear as crystal. You're like, don't listen to this guy.
Look, well, how this country going and how everybody blaming, how everybody pushing a certain narrative of this and that. I don't be surprised if both sides are sending protesters and paying people to do certain shit or act a certain way. I don't put it past none of them. I think the same shit that most of y'all think. The only difference that be coming between us is a lot of y'all thinking for this side or that side. But I be thinking the same shit, but I thinking about both sides. So that be the only difference. I think they all full of shit. I don't like none of them. I don't like politicians. And I like people. Americans. You see what I'm saying? I don't owe the politicians shit. Politicians actually owe me. And they ain't paying what the fuck they owe. So fuck them. I love people, bro. Republicans, Democrats, whatever the fuck you is, independents, whatever you is. I love people. Fuck a politician. No fuck about no politician. I give a fuck about you.
He's broken, but it's just bullshit. And you're mischaracterized me, and your audience can see I am not in any way.
You just mischaracterized me. And I didn't say
no. That's
don't
what
listen
your
to this
post about me was all about. That like I damaged psychologically, damaged from prison, and that's why I'm going on this crusade. Which
first
is
of all,
false.
I sincerely believe that to be true.
Ms. Boss, you
Well, there you go. Look at that.
But I'm not saying, but that's not to say don't listen to anything you say. What I'm saying
that's what I'm talking about, still.
it's making it impossible to listen to even the legitimate things you have to say. And some people are going to make accusations that you are actually a provocateur who is slowing down political progress because nobody's. I don't know. Has Harmeet Dillon gotten back to you on your civil rights violations? Since
I don't want to talk to the feds. You know, that's not my thing. They can go make arrests. They don't need my help.
But maybe
go watch
Harmeet's
the videos of me being punched in the face and go arrest those people. What do they need me to email?
Like the fucking video tripping.
Them for go arrest him, Harmeet. FBI, go get him. Go get the bad brown guys that beat the shit out of me and the white guys.
It sounds like there's a lot of white gals in there too. So you know,
yes, but there was also but I mean, look at Dearborn. Dearborn was just a masterclass in brown Muslims beating the shit out of white Muslims.
You've also just talked about white liberal women who are the big problem.
Of course, deport them all. Don't get me started.
Jake, look, I'll say it, and it's not a fear hiding a wish. It's the fear. The people in the chat saying, "Yay, go, Jake!" They love to see someone go do stupid things, like watching this guy with the wingsuit try to fly into the bridge. He crashes into the bridge, and then they move on to the next Red Bull stuntman, and then their lives go on, and yours is no longer the same.
Yeah, but the security of white children is not a Red Bull stunt. That's the difference. When you put your life on the line for something that matters and that has value and that has a depth to it, then that goes away from, some type of a want for entertainment or to be, something of that nature, and goes into a righteous deed. And so if I'm doing a righteous deed, which is trying to secure the future of my people, and I'm taking it to extreme lengths because it's an extremely broken situation, then I'm just trying everything. It's like I've got a toolkit, right? And you're trying to fix like a broken pipe or whatever, and you're throwing everything out of the toolkit because this pipe is gushing, leaking, and drowning you and your family.
If what you're doing is making the leak worse, then you might want to.
I know. I don't think anybody believes that. I don't think anybody believes that. I think that we're showing strength for the first time. Like I said, if you think that finally doing and saying the things that they said we weren't allowed to do and say is weakness, and that it's that it's counterproductive, well, I would say that's weakness. I would say that
and I would
do
say
everything they say you can't do it. Do it twice, double down, and then throw them out of your country.
And Jake, and I would say that's exactly what a 6-year-old says to his father the first time he learns how to swear. Don't tell me what I could say. Fuck.
Well, then all of a sudden you're 20 years old, and it's not so much about who says what to which person. It's about who can throw down more. And so the small arguments you used to have with Dad are, now a test of who's the more dominant of the two opponents, right? And right now, it's a question of who's the more dominant of the two opponents: right-wing white Christian men or leftist, triple vaccinated, furry, transvestite, black dildo, OnlyFans, transvestite models. Which one is stronger? Which one's going to own the streets of Minneapolis? Who's going to allow?
Hey, what is he talking about? Oh my God. What is he talking about? Oh my God. What is he talking about? So he said white conservative Christians, right? I don't even know if I should be offended or not. I should be offended, right? What the fuck was that? Oh, how do you even think of that on the spot? How the fuck bro? This is some real hate right here, bro. What the fuck? I don't want to go back, but I gotta go back. Look, I don't want to go back, but I got to go back. I got to, man. I don't even know what just happened either. And I was trying to remember it when he said like the first four things. He just kept going and going and going and going and going and going. Oh, set my brain into a damn scramble. Look, hold on, man. Hold on, bro. Jake Lang, I swear, bro. You need to pray, bro. You need to pray, bro. I ain't even, I promise you, bro. You ain't you crazy, bro. Hold on, bro. Let's see as we there. Let's see.
Then you went. If you think that, finally doing and saying the things that they said we weren't allowed to do and say is weakness, and that it's or that it's counterproductive, well, I would say that's weakness. I would say that
and I would
do
say
everything they say you can't do, and do it twice, double down, and then throw them out of your country.
And Jake, and I would say that's exactly what a 6-year-old says to his father the first time he learns how to swear. Don't tell me what I can say.
Well, then all of a sudden you're 20
Dad.
years old, and it's not so much about who says what to which person. It's about who can throw down more. And so the small arguments you used to have with Dad are, now a test of who's the more dominant of the two opponents, right? And right now, it's a question of who's the more dominant of the two opponents, right-wing white Christian men or leftist, triple vaccinated, furry, transvestite, black dildo, OnlyFans, transvestite models. Which one is stronger? Which one's going to own the streets of Minneapolis? Who's going to allow them to continue to impede ICE agents as they de-brownify America? I'm not going to sit there and allow ICE to fall apart because leftist liberals and illegal immigrants want to pretend that they run these streets and that they're the dominant force and that they could, call the shots on President Trump and the white man's agenda. I'm not going to have that. We need to show strength. We need Oath Keepers, Proud Boys, 3%ers, Boogaloo, all of them. There's even more. Patriot Fronts, all the active clubs. We need men.
Hey, bro. Triple vaccinated, furry. He said triple vaccinated, furry. What'd he say? 7 kid having black dildo OnlyFans. That's it. Y'all can say what y'all want to say. Now he getting his ass whooped. All right. He getting his ass whooped. Okay. It's over with. He went to. Y'all can say Jake calling for violence. Y'all can say what y'all want to say. He getting his ass whooped now. He did too much. That was too much, bro. Should put it on a bumper sticker. What the fuck? He so hard. He getting his ass whooped now. I'm laughing so hard. My husband looking at me like I don't. Then he just described the people who saved his life, though. Basically, yeah. Ungrateful motherfucker. Ungrateful motherfucker. All right, I quit. I'm start the video. Ungrateful. Hey, this man is crazy, bro. This man crazy. What the fuck is he talking about? And look at him. He really don't look like he playing. He really don't look like he joking. This man gotta be AI, right? He said leftist, triple vaccinated, furry, transvestite, OnlyFans, black dildo, transvestite models. No, he didn't say moms. I know for sure the last word was models. Miss Balls. No, he did. I don't want to go back, Miss Balls. He said model. Miss Balls. He said moms. No, see, look, now I got to go back. I do not want to go back, y'all. He said models. Models will be funny. He said mobs. Now we got to go back. Oh, no, back. Hold on. Damn.
Productive. Well, I would say that's weakness. I would say you can't do it. Do it twice, double down, and then throw it out of your country.
Listen,
and Jake, and I would say that's exactly what a 6-year-old says to his father the first time he learns how to swear. Don't tell me what I could say.
Well, then all of a sudden you're 20
Dad.
years old, and it's not so much about who says what to which person. It's about who can throw down more. And so the small arguments you used to have with Dad are, now a test of who's the more dominant of the two opponents, right? And right now, it's a question of who's the more dominant of the two opponents, right-wing white Christian men or leftist, triple vaccinated, furry, transvestite, black dildo, OnlyFans, transvestite models. Which one is stronger? Which one's going to own the streets of Minneapolis? Who's going to allow them to continue to impede ICE agents as they de-brownify America? I'm not going to sit there now, ICE to fall apart because leftist liberals and illegal immigrants want to pretend that they run these streets and that they're the dominant force and that they could, call the shots on President Trump and the white man's agenda. I'm not going to have that. We need to show strength. We need Oath Keepers, Proud Boys, 3%ers, Boogaloo, all of them. There's even more. Patriot Front, all the active clubs. We need men out there. When I say I'm going out somewhere and I'm going to be espousing anti-Islamification and pro-white nationalism, and these other groups allow me to be lynched, it shows weakness in our ranks, and it shows that humiliation that they're dominating us. And that can't be the fact because, when push comes to shove, this is a arms race in many ways. And, we don't want it to be there, but that's why we want President Trump's Insurrection Act. We don't want a physical conflict with our fellow Americans. We want the law to do what we hired it to do, which is get out like 20, 30, 40 million illegal immigrants from our country and save our population from being displaced.
And if what you're doing makes the illegals actually look like the victims in this, and it makes it more difficult for judges to get on the side of deportation, because
Viva, what mental gymnastics you just have to do to say the illegals are the victims when I was nearly ripped limb from limb?
You're not listening.
I'm the oppressor, the man being stabbed, all this stuff. I'm still the white. See, that's the problem here. Even if a white man is lynched, the illegals are still the victims. What the hell are you talking about?
I would ask you to repeat what I said, because clearly you either didn't hear it, or you didn't understand it, or you didn't want to.
They're the victims, and I said I'm the oppressor. They're the victims. I'm the oppressor.
Jake, first of all, it's not what I said. So you can go back and replay the tape. What I said is, if your behavior allows them to portray themselves as the victims, which is precisely the strategic mistake in what you're doing by burning the Quran, calling them N-words, throwing up Zika. It allows the illegal aliens to say, look at this white nationalist, racist garbage who's not even letting us practice our religion.
Some of my best friends are white, man. And I know I ain't even got to say that some of my favorite people is white. Most of the people who I talk to every day in and day out, are white. As soon as I wake up, people who I'm talking to are white. So that shit don't mean nothing to me. So when I talk about Jake Lang, it has nothing to do with him being white. It has something to do with his heart, his action, his words, and the things he do. But I don't take this as a representation of all white people or all Republicans or all Trump supporters or all Christians or nothing like that. This dude don't speak for the masses. That's what he's trying to do. So it's important that when you see somebody like Jake Lane or the woke farmer or whoever the fuck, Mercado or whatever the fuck side they on, don't take them as a representation of all of something. Cause they ain't, man. These just some loners, some drifters, these some bad people in my opinion. But come on, bro. This man don't speak for white people, bro. This man don't speak for Christians. This man don't speak for America. This man don't speak for the president. Like, this man speaks for his own stupid ass self. And that's why when he was out there getting lynched, that's why wasn't nobody out there to help his ass. But the same people he hate. If he was actually speaking for the masses and speaking for all these different groups of people, then you would think more people would have been out there to support his ass in Minnesota. So, you know, just keep that shit cool. Don't let people like Jake Lane separate the rest of us, because that's his job. So regardless of what I think of him, and regardless of what you think of him, don't let what he thinks separate me and you. That's the whole thing, because that's his job. So if he making me and you not like each other because some shit he's saying or some shit he doing, then we both let him win. Because that's what he here to do. Divide, separate, stir up shit. So that's why we got to sit here and laugh just like we doing. And have a healthy conversation just like we doing. And seeing what can we learn from some shit as foul as this. But he can't divide us, can't let him separate us. We ain't letting that shit happen. We ain't letting that shit fly.
I haven't been that flattered in a long time.
But understand what I'm saying. So it'll all be told. I mean, maybe things will happen despite, maybe things will happen because, and we'll never know whether or not correlation.
Well, when are people going to be afraid to be labeled racist or white nationalist or America first or pro-America or pro-white? When are we going to hide behind people labeling us? Oh, some brown illegal immigrants labeled me as a racist. Oh, poor pig. It's, come on, man. This is our country. These are our societies. These are our social norms. And
you got white people labeling you as a racist. I mean, you got white
women hide underneath hefty trash bags. They're making them copulate, having 5-6 wives, and all of this.
You're right.
The children are getting married in their early teens and being sold off. They have totalitarianism and complete rampant inhuman actions that they promote. And we're going to talk about that we're racist. They're racist. They're sexist. They're oppressors. They hate us. We don't hate them. We want them out. It's a difference. They physically hate us and want to kill us. Their children, black children in America, are raised to say white people are oppressors, white people are slave owners, white people hate you, and so the black people grow up to learn, and they hate us.
Well,
they hate us.
And
they kill us 41.
What? We ain't raised and taught that. That's what we raised to talk about the police. Seeing what we can live from this. What he's saying we taught about police. What he's saying we taught about white people, that's what we taught about the police. Yeah, I need to give him a Chicago tour. He welcome. You know what I'm saying? Whenever he ready, whenever he want to chill, you know what I'm saying? Somebody hit him up, tell him, give him my information, tell him get up with me, tell him I'm a big fan, love him, can't wait to meet him. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to take him to the west side of Chicago so he can spread his message. You know what I'm saying? So he can do his thing.
Then we kill them. They're racist. You're over here saying the illegals are going to wag their finger at you saying they're racist. No, I'm not racist, Viva. I don't assault people because of the color of their skin. That's what black people do. So don't start with me here.
Yeah, I do.
Jake, I'm not going to have the argument as to who's racist or not. But
no, I know, but that's what the liberals do. That's what the devil does, right? He effectively calls you what he is, and he's the accuser.
Jake,
the oldest tale of the book.
throwing up Sieg Heil hand fists and saying N-word lovers, and don't tell me that they're depicting you wrongly for what you've said and done. And then the only question is going to be, do your actions make it harder to pursue what would otherwise be a legitimate political cause because of the antics that you've done?
It's tough people everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just in Florida with your little stand, you know what I'm saying? And y'all down there clutching on to your weapons and shit, which is all cool and shit. But you know, it's tough people everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So that would be gold. And I know, right? I ain't too racist to let Jake interview him, but it would be awesome. He wouldn't be racist to me. I guarantee y'all he won't be racist to me until I was gone. I mean, if he can change his man, what would it hurt to interview him? Lane would be scared of the real Jake. He better keep it Jake and not Derek. Well, his job is much harder now after these interviews he's done, that's for sure. Yeah, we tough. I ain't mad at you for being tough, Dorit, to do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Go on. You feel me? Go on. Like, the problem is not here, Dorit. We don't, you know, we just watching the same video. I have nothing against you. You know, I love all people. I love you. Like, we just watching a video. That's it. I don't know what you are. You probably went downstairs, got your shotgun. Look, Dorita, take that damn thing back downstairs. Okay? Ain't nothing finna happen. Take it back downstairs. Go put it back in the case and get back in the bed and finish watching the video. Relax, I'm just keeping you straight. Put the goddamn shotgun back. That's all I'm saying. Just keep me straight. That's all fine. Put the goddamn weapon down. Okay. Oh my God, y'all be killing me.
And that's the only thing where I guess we're going to disagree. People here saying, yeah, on the substance, stats are stats. Overrepresentation is a matter of fact. The Great Replacement is up in Canada too. It's a fact.
Yes,
and then the question is whether or not
Canada, and it's all Niagara Falls is all Indians everywhere. Even the restaurants, it's like everything is Sikh. They Sikh everything. They get the. And there's like all these people walking around with towels in the bathroom, so their hands are wet.
Neil probably got 5 to unreach, y'all.
It's crazy up there.
Jake,
ladies, don't
I'm going to read
about tactics.
Well,
Crusade.
Jake,
y'all
what
ain't
you're
wrong,
doing
though.
is counterproductive. You might be trying to fix the pipe, and all you're doing is enhancing the flow. So we'll see.
Well, at least it's like 30 plumbers.
Y'all don't forget to follow Miss Boss YouTube channel, Miss X Boss, and then follow her TikTok, Red Shift USA on TikTok. That's really what she's starting to get that thing going. So y'all need to go over there to TikTok after this, show her some support. Like I said, she the one sent me this video, told me about this video. This video turned out to be a great piece of content for us and really got some good conversation going and all that. So follow Miss Boss, Miss X Boss. She's seeing her in her comment. And her channel is also in the link of my channel. And then go over to TikTok, Red Shift USA, all one word, Red, R-E-D, Shift, S-H-I-F-T, USA. So make sure y'all go over there and get her follow too, see what she posted, see what she got going on. She posted some funny stuff, some interesting stuff. She a mod up in here. Miss X Boss, that's her YouTube channel, the letter X. Miss, M-I-S-S-X, then Boss, right there. That's her name right there. That's our YouTube channel. So follow her on YouTube, then go over to TikTok and follow our TikTok channel, Red Shift USA. So everybody who could do that for me, I greatly appreciate it. Miss Boss, a cool chick, a good person. There you go right there, Red Shift USA on TikTok. Miss Boss, I don't know why you wouldn't put on TikTok, but yeah.
Show up, be like, look at this guy, and then they could do it. Let me
No,
at least get,
30 pubs are going to say it would have been easier to fix this without you.
They would have been the law. The thing is, they never would have been called because they would have been out meandering in La La Land if I didn't put the pig head in the Quran.
You'll never know what
I'm bringing the plumbers to the yard.
You'll never know what would have been had you not done what you've done.
My Quran pancakes when I'm cooking the Quran on the bacon. My Quran pancakes bring all the plumbers to the
Well,
yard here.
I'm not
Viva.
sure that that's the flipping of the tables that Jesus would have espoused in the Bible, but I'm not Christian and I won't lecture anybody on it. Jake, I'm going to go read the chat and I'm going to get to the other stories. I'll keep. We'll obviously keep in touch, but we've had the discussion publicly now. So,
And Viva, wait, one last thing before I go. Am I still blacklisted from like the Viva Dub? Like I can't hang out with my old boy anymore?
No, Jake, I'll tell you,
because that's what
It's
you
okay,
implying.
Mo.
That we're no
Jake,
longer
I'll tell you,
buddies
You
again or
never
not?
added
I
the
do
other
not-
Am I
ones.
still
do
like
after the
I do
channel.
not-
dangerous
I-
zoo animal escaped from prison? To you?
I don't
we'll
frat
get-
with anybody who uses N-word lover or does.
Ah.
I mean, it's
I
like
know that.
call me
Are you
proud of being white?
butting.
Viva,
Sorry.
are you proud of being white?
First of all, I've always considered myself white.
Yes or no?
Despite, am I proud? Why would I be proud of an immutable trait? I think it's stupid to say I'm proud of the way
You're
I
proud
was
of your
born.
ancestry. You're proud of your
I'm
culture.
not- I can't be
I'm
proud of
to
things
be
that I have
black.
not made
Ain't
an
nothing
active
wrong with
decision
that. The problem comes in when you add
adopt.
other
You don't
people,
adopt
bring
your
other
skin
Well, here's the
people.
difference.
Right.
They're proud of being who they are. Koreans are proud of being Korean.
but
Japanese are
so-
proud of the history and the length,
The
the
history
honor,
is
the
different.
discipline,
The history
the
is different.
teachings.
The history is
Now,
different.
are you proud of the history of white people then? Are you proud of it?
Am I proud of the history of white people? You're going to have to narrow it down.
Never mind,
a
you're a
little bit.
Jew. All right,
would
I
be-
love you, Viva.
No, I would say this. I would be proud to be American when I make the decision to become American. Am I proud to be Canadian? I was born Canadian. I didn't have a choice in it. So you take pride in your choices, not immutable traits or happenartists
I like
into
that,
which you're
though. I
born.
like what he's
It's
saying.
a cheap, low IQ level
Those
thing to
immutable
do.
traits, though, do have real world, actual, articulable consequences. The
Am I
way
proud
people
to be
live, the
Jake,
level that
am I
people are
proud to
able
be
to
short?
operate
I
at.
pinned Mama G
Ask me a
something up
stupid.
there.
Am I proud to be 5'5.5"? Am I proud to be short?
I pinned it up there.
No. Am I proud to be strong?
Why not?
Is that the decision?
You have
Mama
you have
G pinned
characteristics that
something
go
to
along
be
with that.
used.
No,
You'd be able
but
to, you would have been able to escape through that crowd easier
Well,
than me. You would have been able to dip and dodge right underneath.
I would have been
You
able.
should
Yeah,
be
I
proud.
wouldn't have been there in the first place. And it's not a question of being a coward. I don't maximize my chances for physical harm. And I try, and I think I've been
I
pretty
did
good.
it, Mama G. It's fine.
I don't
hopefully
either
having an
unless
impact.
my way of life and my future of my family is under threat. Then I have no problem maximizing physical threat. I don't do it for fun. I don't do it because it's cool.
Yes, you do.
Jake, when I would not go to a Manchester United soccer game and start cheering for the opponent. I would expect to get beaten, and that would be a large group of Europeans who you go into.
I don't know. I'm from America, where I can go to any football game wearing another person's jersey and act like a normal white person, and I usually won't be mugged, right? Unless two people are drinking and they fight like polar bears, that usually doesn't happen in America. The soccer riot thing, that happens in some other countries. I'm an American. I have standards of freedom of speech.
I think you know what I think. It doesn't matter what I think. You're a big boy. You'll live your life and you'll make your
Wait,
decisions.
so we're not. So you can't fraternize with me, but you can podcastinize with me. I wanted to hear what you had to say about it. It's much easier than a tweet. You're right. No, I'm like an old school dude. I take friendships and loyalty very seriously. Especially for prison and stuff like that. So I like to know who's with me in my corner and who's my friend and who I can count on and call if I'm in a bind. And I guess
Jake, loyalty is not me egging you on because you want, when you're drunk already. Loyalty is not me saying, hey, go do more stupid things. Loyalty is me telling you when I think you've done something stupid, when I think you've done something immoral, and when I think you've done something counterproductive. And I think you did, period. And then I think you're also too far into it to admit it because you've reached, it's like a person who keeps sleeping around. You can't unsleep. So once you regard yourself as a whore, what's another person to sleep with? And I think you've reached that threshold. And it's good. There's always room for being reborn. But being loyal is not me egging you on to your demise.
The way that you're trying to equate white.
Miss Boss, it's just one word, right? It's Red Shift USA with a capital R, capital S, and capital USA. No underscore or nothing. So just Red Shift USA. That's IG, girl. What the? Let me see, because this shit ain't on. Let me see. You can put the TikTok one up there, and then on the TikTok one have the IG on. Now let me go to IG and put this shit in and see if it works. Miss Boss, promote the TikTok. This it. When did you make this? This got no followers. Is this it? Where my fucking camera at? That's it, Miss Boss? I'm just building it. That's why I need to focus on the TikTok that's already growing and then start doing it on Instagram. 1 follower, and that's me just now. Follow her on TikTok at Redshift USA.
Erasure with like these lowbrow horror stuff and stuff like that.
I'm not equating that. I'm equating lowbrow stupid behavior with lowbrow.
Yeah, but you're equating it with like going to a Manchester United game. You're talking about. You're talking about lowbrow stupid shit. You're talking about boredom and soccer games. I'm talking about putting your life on the line for the future of white people. No, you're talking about putting your life on the line for a fucking soccer team. Don't equate them. They're not the same. One of them is serious. One of them is triviality. Okay?
You're right.
And that's why I put my life on the line for the serious one. No, I would not wear a Barcelona jersey to a Manchester United game and enter myself into a place of undue physical harm potential. You know why? Because soccer's fucking stupid and it's Goyslop used to freaking make people distracted. That's why I wouldn't do it. Why would I go into a rabid group of liberals? Because the future of white children is dependent upon strong men standing up. So there's a difference here. Stop equating things that don't have any stature together.
Burning the Quran, throwing up Sieg Heils, using the N-word is as stupid, lowbrow, low IQ as dressing up.
Those are political demonstrations in order to drive home a point that we're being replaced.
I don't think it should be illegal, but I wouldn't support burning the cross or urinating on the cross. Or
it's a political demonstration that's behind a point. It's not pure hatred. It's not behind a hate group. It's behind a man that is espousing the ideas that I'm espousing.
And that's like that woman who slept with 1,000 people in a day. It's not about boredom. It's about like physical accomplishments. It's not about sex. I'm not a degenerate. I'm just trying to break a record. It's stupid behavior. I'll tell you up front, it's stupid. It's counterproductive. And I do think it's immoral, but I do think that you're too far into it to actually admit that and walk it back. Because you might have actually done things in certain cultures is not walk backable. I don't think you're a Salman Rushdie yet. Get about this type of stupid antics, and you can get back into the productive, and I would dare say, Christian value method of dealing with it, which does not involve the shock jock stupidity that you've done. That I will have
when you boil it down that way, and I think that when your great-grandchildren are kissing a prayer rug in their preschools, that you'll wish that you didn't try to undermine me in this scenario, because I'm one of the only ones standing up to fight while you're trying to call my things antics and shock jock. I'm doing political action, and I'm talking about very important issues, and I'm doing some inflammatory things while I'm doing those things in order to drive my point home. That's a proper way to address the seriousness of my ideas and what we're talking about here, and not trying to undermine and cut it up and be like, it's row, it's shock jock, it's this, it's that. No, it's fucking necessary to the future of white children is what it is. And if we have to burn some Qurans, and that's like the basic, that's the bottom level of what a people should be willing to do to secure their future. This is something that one of my friends that's way tougher than I am told me, and this is what I want to end with here. And they're very serious, and I don't say it lightly. How would you be willing to kill somebody if you wouldn't be willing to say something offensive to them? So think about that. If you're not, we're talking about the possibility of physical conflict with enemies that want to enslave us and destroy us. And you can't call them a little fucking word? And you think that you're going to be able to stand up toe to toe and go to war with an enemy? So don't start with
what
me
do you
here.
say, y'all?
And don't get me going, because you're going to get me into, into full masculine fucking existential threat. I'm doing political action, and I'm talking about very important issues, and I'm doing some inflammatory things while I'm doing those things in order to drive my point home. That's a proper way to address the seriousness of my ideas and what we're talking about here, and not trying to undermine and cut it up and be like it's lowbrow, it's shock jock, it's this, it's that. No, it's fucking necessary to the future of white children, is what it is. And if we,
I never heard that. The browning of America, never heard that in my life. Go back to what he said about the burning Quran thing. How far I need to go back? I mean, he has a point. Islam wants to end America. Hey, when he get to talking about Islam, he be right. But again, he worded wrong and he go about it wrong. Hey, I'm against all that shit with, look, I'm not against Islamic people, but like what some of them trying to do, because I don't like to paint with a broad brush and I don't like to say everybody know like that, but what some of them trying to do, hell no. Hell no. You know, trying to convert Christians to Muslims and all that. Look, that was really a good emphasis for him to go with in his message. That really was a good point of his message. But he veered left and went so far off the goddamn cliff that it get lost in all this bullshit. When I say one fight at a time, motherfucker. That's the same thing I be telling the protesters. One thing at a time. Every week is something new. Every day is something new because you're trying to keep up with everything that's happening everywhere all around the world, and it's messing with your message. His deliverance is pure evil, in my opinion. Facts. I agree, Mama Bear. Pure evil. When you hear play, he's talking crazy. True, I can say not all of them. All right, let's see what he's finna say. Let's see him. Let's see.
We have to burn some Qurans, and that's like the basic, that's the bottom level of what a people should be willing to do to secure their future. This is something that one of my friends, it's way tougher than I am, told me, and this is what I want to end with here. And they're very serious, and I don't say it lightly. How would you be willing to kill somebody if you wouldn't be willing to say something offensive to them? So think about that. If you're not, we're talking about the possibility of physical conflict with enemies that want to enslave us and destroy us. And you can't call them a little fucking word? And you think that you're going to be able to stand up toe to toe and go to war with an enemy? So don't start with me here. And don't get me going, because you're going to get me into, into full masculine fucking existential threat crisis mode, which is where men need to be. If you're worried about throwing a slight, word at somebody, you're not prepared for the battlefield. These are two different levels here.
We have different definitions of masculinity, and we have different. I'm not to say that I'm the old bull, but it's like the young papa bull and the baby bull walking on the mountain, and they say, "Hey, look down there. Let's go run down and fuck a cow." And papa bull says, "Hey, let's walk down and fuck them all." It's from colors, people, and I apologize to swear. We have different concepts of masculinity and different concepts of necessity. And I would also dare say that, when you kill someone, you don't. I've never been there, but I would imagine there are even. You don't take pride in having to do that, which is immoral.
But you should have to take pride in the willingness to do what it takes to secure the future of your people, to any extremity, and not try to kind of cut out the realities of what is coming to us and where we're at. They're lynching white people in the streets for talking about our replacement. How do we fix our country if they're going to arm up and start shooting ICE agents and all this stuff? We have liberals. I seen the Antifa. The guy with the Antifa, he's got a big Antifa. And they stole my cross too. They stole my watch, my vest, my speaker, my microphone, anything. They were animals pickpocketing me. So we need to talk about these things, Viva, and not be ashamed to address them head on. And that's why I'm here, and that's why my message works. That's why people are listening. And that's why they want to kill me. Because the effectiveness of what
nobody want to kill you. If people wanted to kill you, they could have killed you.
Don't virtue signal your way into replacement, please. If you need to say some things and do some things, it may not be nice. The definition of liberal, peace, love, hippie, rock and roll, 1969 Beatles. Sometimes that's necessary. We can get back to the, I'll smoke a joint on the lawn of Woodstock with anybody. right? Because I like music and I like peace and stuff. But
You do
in
not
order
like
to
peace,
get
bro.
there, in order to secure that same experience for my posterity, the civilized man has to be willing to do uncivilized things to the uncivilized
Love you too,
man
Mama G.
in order
Thanks for
to secure
everything. See you next
civilization.
time.
And good
We
men have to do
appreciate it
bad
here.
things
Thank you.
sometimes in order to make sure that goodness can thrive. That's the nature of,
Keep it up.
our military and the nature of freedom.
Yeah, sure.
And, I mean, Ronald Reagan said it in different words, talking about that liberty is only ever one generation away from extinction, and that, we must be bold enough to secure it. And, it's been reiterated many times by many of our most revered politicians. And I'm here preaching the same message. And, if you're not willing to say something mean to somebody, how are you willing to defeat them in the battlefield of life? That they're trying to destroy you. They hate you. They want to see you and your family locked up. They want to see Rudy Giuliani piss poor, homeless in the streets, take everything from him, lock up Steve Bannon, lock up me and my brothers, torture us and our families, not let us get haircuts. They want to see us ended. Finito, Chinito. So this is, a serious enterprise to me. So I don't mind calling, a spade when it needs to be said, because that's really the bottom line of what,
boss.
A man should be willing to do.
You do like hearing his own voice.
Make sure his people are safe and secure in the future. A couple name calls is nothing.
He like hearing his own voice, because this interviewer then told the man, I got one last question for you at least 30, 45 minutes ago. And Jake just going on and on and on, trying to spread much hate as he can. If they ain't letting him get a haircut, that's one thing I can believe that he's saying, because I hate to believe that that's how it look after he get a haircut. So please allow this motherfucker to go get a real haircut, because right now he just combed that shit over like that. You know what I'm saying? And that shit look terrible. I'm gonna leave that there. Yeah, a spade. Like, come on, bro. What we doing? Is he trying to make a civil war? I think there's going to be a war within. I think he wants civil war. I think that's what he's talking about. I think that's what he's talking about. You can't call people names. How you gonna be able to kill them? These people we're at war with. I think he's talking about other Americans of different races. I really do. He took that from you for real. Yeah, I was starting to think the motherfucker be watching me stealing my shit. He stole my name. Now he told me I'm calling a spade a spade. Y'all know that's my line. We see him with a black and malice up. We catch him with a black and malice on, bro. He's stealing my whole flow. Come on, bro. He want people to type in Jake and see him instead of me. Come on, bro. The fuck on. Now when people type in Jake,
we need to be prepared for the eventualities that seem to be coming our way.
Oh, Jake knows.
Jake, we'll stay in touch. I'll keep following. And we'll see where this goes.
You're my friend. You're allowed at my house anytime.
Yeah, well, Jake,
bring your hood.
I'm okay. Well,
thank you. Love you, Viva. God bless you. God bless you guys. Fight. And make sure you reshare the video and get this out there. Thanks, guys.
You can take it. Do what you want with it. Godspeed. And now I'm going to bring up the chat. I was going to bring up some comments, but I don't want to bring up some and then look like I'm only picking on some. I'm going to go to the Rumble rants and the tipped questions over on vivabarneslaw.locals.com. Let's see what we can see. Can we see this? Oh, yeah, we can see that my face is not covering it. We've got... Where is it here? Jake. Dominant one says, Viva, I have more important things to do. Just wanted to stop in and say I've been pounded by Anton's meat, king of Biltong, for Anton's pleasure and mine. Okay. Lord of the Reese says, clutch your pearls, Viva. The rest of us who understand how big the radical Marxist problem is will do what needs to be done to save the country. Oh, and if you think throwing up Sieg Heils and burning Qurans is what needs to be done to save the country, we have different judgments, and I prefer mine. If you won't, then get out of the way. You do what you think is productive. Neurodivergent says, oh no, sorry, Dominant one says, I do have a live stream posted up yet. Do not have one. Still editing the video, 9 p.m. Central. There will be something to watch and chat about, says Dominant one. Plasma stream, why was Jake Lang photographed kissing the wall with the cube on his head? That's called tefillin. And the tape around his arms. Why does he have a bar mitzvah certificate? Well, because he was probably bar mitzvahed and he went to the wall. Why is he false flagging as my race and faith? King of Biltong says premium all-natural biltong, high-quality meat, crafted properly, sold direct, no shortcuts. Check out biltongusa.com. Use code VIVA for 10% off. Dominant One says getting pounded by Anton's meat and meat is not gay. Plasma Stream says, but you are not white, Jake. You said on Stu Peters you are Ashkenazi Jew. I never understood anybody who says that Jews aren't white. I've understood a lot of Jews who say, as a white person, in one circumstance when they want to lecture white people, but then when there's other issues, they say, as a Jew. I understand a lot of Jewish people harbor a double standard when it comes to acknowledging that they're white without, except for the purposes of attacking rights of whites. The idea that Jews aren't white, I mean, except maybe Moroccan or Sephardic Jews who are Middle Eastern, maybe they're not white, maybe they're whatever subsect of the race divisions is there.
As long as you own them legally.
But
I mean, that's your
I'm white.
Citizen
period.
If you want to own guns.
And you'll never. I don't think you'll actually ever find any tweet where I've ever said as a white man like or as a Jew.
I was just talking
because neither of those two things are relevant for anything I believe or for undermining whatever anyone else.
I ain't trying to be hurtful.
As a Jew, you're wrong. As a white person, we must all give up more of our rights for whatever. No. But I do genuinely, and I've seen it happen more and more and quite often. People who are overtly Jewish saying, as a Jew, this, and then as a white, we must accept X, Y, and Z. We must accept DEI as a white. But then as a Jew, you can't discriminate against me. Bill Dozer said this guy's agitprop. Plasma says, I'm starting to appreciate how bad Jake is at false flagging as a white man and a Christian. A lot of people are finding out how the Jews like Jacob work on TikTok and Twitter. Learn their tricks. Dominant One, are we going to have another one? God separated his chosen people, the nation of Israel, from all the other nations of the world. Humans think we are smarter than God and can put all nations and cultures together. No, there's also definitely historical, not etymological, evolutionary reasons for which, you cannot have not incessant but endless immersion of cultures. There has to be a certain group. What is it like? The beyond 150 within cities. At some point, too many ingredients. You no longer have a melting pot. You
Everybody is welcome here.
Pot of whatever.
What the fuck kind of
Symmetric culture says, what did Americans do before they switched to holding their hand over their heart when
I'm tired of it too.
Okay, now let's go over here for a second, over to our Viva Barnes Law.locals.com community. Where are my fat fingers not working properly today? We've got over on Crumble. Okay, disregard my first RR. Jake blackpilled me on Jake.
I think that's going to be the stream. I think we're going to end it right there. I mean, one he is reading. Sorry. Oh, one of the comments he ran because I'm like, I ain't know what you was talking about. I ain't gonna lie. I think we're going to end the stream now. We've been streaming for 3 hours. I think that was a cool stream. This dude bad for America, in my opinion. I love the conversation that it sparked up in here in a way we was able to talk about it and keep it all respectful, even when some of us disagreed, and was able to laugh and joke about this really hurtful and harmful stuff that he's saying, in my opinion. So I appreciate all y'all. I love y'all. Thanks for supporting me. Remember, everybody is welcome here again. Follow Miss Boss at her YouTube channel, Miss X Boss, and then follow her on all other platforms at Red Shift USA, REDSHIFT USA. So make sure y'all follow Miss Boss, especially on TikTok for that Red Shift USA. Try to get her going over there on TikTok. That's really what she posts the most content at. I don't know why she won't just stick to that and build that one up, then move on. But either way, make sure y'all follow her. She think that's the video. That was a great video. Helped us have a great time. I appreciate all y'all. Thanks for all the laughs and the jokes. And everything y'all do, it just be like, I don't know, it'd be like being outside with my friends. Sometimes be super cool. So I appreciate all y'all. I love all y'all. And I'll see y'all in the next video tomorrow. Stay safe and watch y'all surroundings and don't hesitate to protect yourself. I love all y'all. See y'all later. I'm in the stream. Peace out.